Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, today the League of Ordinary Gentlemen proudly bring to you the Fantasy Football 5-4. Introducing Balls to the Wall, Bryan Roberts.
Yeah.
Coach, Jake Ruth.
Yeah.
Quick wit, slow feet, Ryan Robertson.
Scribe. No.
I'm Scribe. And JT, the commish.
Scribe. Yeah.
Slash Scribe.
With the slow feet.
Gentlemen, I apologize for my absence last week, but Bryan did one hell of a job filling in as host. Here. But duty calls, and I'm back.
JT's got to take it up. Back like.
How'd your class go?
Long, boring,
Long and hard. What about the class?
pointless, but I digress.
Long and distinguished. It's a slaughter line from Top Gun.
Top Gun the first one or Top Gun the second?
I said Top Gun.
Not
So,
Maverick. Must be the first
Slaughter.
one. And what?
Slaughter's only in the first one.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I don't.
Come on,
I don't
man.
remember minor characters.
Never mind.
Nope.
All right.
Not starting out that way.
So let's jump into our Week 3 review. First matchup was
A doozy.
Ryan versus Tyler.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, what?
Oh.
All right. Well,
I don't know.
I'm still getting used to using my phone here. All right. So we had
Yeah, it's a tough technology to get used to, buddy.
the Godwins original projection 115 versus the Fantasy Phenoms original projection 131. Final 112 to 121.
Well, was that close?
A 9-point matchup in favor of the Fantasy Phenoms. Yeah. Led by,
Ryan.
I was going to say Josh Allen.
Oh.
Do you feel like every year you have this issue going into a draft? Do you want to spend a high pick on a quarterback?
Yep,
or
happens
take-
every year.
Every single year, because
Every
I'm like, man, I could get a value pick later in the draft, and he could still be a guy that ends up scoring just as much as the top quarterback.
Yeah, you got it.
Then you spend a pick on Josh
And then you
Allen,
actually do it, or just.
and he's like, oh, I'll get you 30 plus every week.
Yeah, dude, quarterback's a difference maker. I don't care what people say. I know,
Yeah, I
that
know.
a lot of people say, the experts. The experts.
Right.
They say, oh, don't draft quarterback early. Don't draft quarterback early. You can get him late. And true, but you got to hit. Having 30 points in your lineup every week, difference maker.
My thought about it is, yeah.
What's
you
your
can
thoughts?
Thank you for asking. Now, listen to me. Now, stay with me, guys. Listen to me. Stay with me. If you get a quarterback, maybe quarterback 4 through about 10 or 12, they're
I'm
all
with you.
basically the same.
I'm with you.
But you get that 1, 2, 3, like right now, Josh Allen,
Yeah.
Lamar, Jalen
Yeah.
Hurts, and somewhat Pat Mahomes.
Sure.
Nah.
You got it.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
I haven't had a quarterback on my roster go over 20 fantasy points this season. Bench or
But
starter.
it also helps that you got the number one quarterback and what's looking like the number one wide receiver in football.
Yeah, that's a good double up.
Yeah.
Stephon or Amon Ra?
Somebody
If
did
I-
that last
He's
year.
out this
and
week.
It worked out
Get
pretty
that-
If I wouldn't have drafted Diggs, I probably wouldn't have drafted Allen there. True story.
fair enough.
If so facto, it worked out for you.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
job.
Worked out for you this week. 30.7 from Josh Allen. Stephon Diggs, one of, I guess, probably his worst game of the season.
Yeah,
but
he rarely played in the second half. He'd play 1 or 2 plays and come out for
Yeah,
about
that's
3 or 4.
well, they ran 90 plays.
Yeah, like he was cramping the entire game. Menstrual cramps. It'll get you.
They'll get you. Catch up to you.
They're not easy, Brian. Those things are tough.
Some of the girls I have.
Outside of Josh
Yeah,
Allen, Ryan, you had 2 other players score over 20. You had Cordarrelle Patterson
Yeah, soon to be off the roster. Talk about that
and
later.
Philadelphia's defense with 22. Good outing by Philadelphia against Washington. Carson Wentz came back down to,
Carson Wentz level.
yep.
I feel like Philly might be my defense moving forward. I might stop streaming them. They're pretty good.
Ooh.
I might take a page out of old Robert's book over there. Just go one defense all the way through, regardless of who they're playing.
Listen, I'm a defensive man.
Defense man, that's what we call him. Call him defense man. Look at him. Look at him. Defense man.
I'm the D-man, Jake.
So I've heard.
Jake calls him the big D man.
What's
We're
the
not
next
sure
matchup?
why.
Yeah,
You would think because he's a Dallas fan. He's
What
not.
about Jefferson?
What about him? Sucks.
I mean,
Zach or Justin?
Justin.
Don't like either one of them.
So 35 week 1, and then since then
He's saying that
10
nicely,
points.
man. Huh?
35 week 1, 10 points total since then.
Bust.
Thoughts?
I mean, it does kind of hurt when you take a guy like that.
Number 2 overall.
Yes.
Why are you wearing this fucking jersey?
Yeah.
Yes.
In your brand new league?
Do you
Yeah.
panic at all?
Where your cousin's been blowing you up?
I think you just weather the storm.
Get him.
What else can you do? You're not going to get return value on him right now. You might. You could get return value.
I'd still spend
You
it.
can't trade him.
No.
I mean, you can trade him. No.
Because I think his value is not representation of
What do you call?
he's worth.
What's the word for that? Because I've been trying to think of that. Your actual value that he's actually statistically at right now, which is not good.
Perceived value versus actual value?
Perceived value.
I like that.
Yeah,
and
that's
actual
probably
value?
I'm for it.
Okay.
His perceived value is not as high as his actual. Or no,
No, it's the other way around.
Yeah.
Well, no, his perceived value just based off of his stats.
He's not.
Well, that's not perceived. That is his actual value.
That is
That's actual value.
So it would have to be
Right on this
another
point.
Perceived value is what we think he's actually worth.
I'm the Jack on that point.
Yeah.
Robertson, which way are you falling?
Rebuttal.
Well, I actually brought up the point originally, and then I went back on the other side. It's like
It's
I'm arguing against tight ends, but then support tight ends and Cracker Barrel. I don't know. Moving on.
All right, yeah, Justin Jefferson with a 2.9, the lowest output from the Godwins. His highest score was Carolina's defense.
Looky,
with 23.
hey,
What do you know? In their first win of the season.
Woo-hoo!
Probably their only one.
Somebody's got to carry their running back.
Followed behind Carolina's defense, you had Kirk Cousins, 22.3. Solid output. CeeDee Lamb, 18.7. Damian Pierce, 17.1. Really just fell short with just a couple players, mainly his first two picks, Justin Jefferson and Aaron Jones.
Yeah. Are we moving up on Travis Etienne, or is this basically what he's going to be as long as James Robinson, and then?
Right now, I would rather have James Robertson going forward.
Sure, but would you keep Travis Etienne in your lineup and just hope for
If
the
I'm
best?
Tyler,
Well, it doesn't matter for anybody else. Nobody else had him.
I don't know, man. I'll probably start Singletary. I know he's probably not going to have the same amount of receptions as he did last week. He had 9. He had 11 targets. But, I mean, Singletary is the most dependable back in that offense. It's a good offense. They're going to score
He's
points.
on the field all the time,
Right.
regardless if he gets the touches or not. He's got the opportunities.
Right, and I think that's more than you can say for Etienne.
Right.
He's not going to have the same opportunity that Devin Singletary is. And I just don't think that's as good of an offense. Give me the guy on a better offense, more opportunity. Boom, there we go.
Boom,
Devin Singletary.
done.
That's my point, baby. Thank you, sir. Been working on that all week. Dissertation, boys. Ryan?
You learned that in the class.
I wish. Amari Cooper
Education.
was named the, I guess, best value pick of our draft. Amari Cooper,
And
for
I
you.
keep putting him on my bench.
You do, past 2 weeks, 20.6.
You want to trade his ass?
Let's get one going on the podcast.
Trying to work on a trade right now.
Brian, I sent you a trade that
I'm
Amari
doing
Cooper in it. Well, I didn't send it. I had it queued up, and I went to click send. I said, "No, I can't do it because Amon-Ra St. Brown was questionable and looking like he's going to be out."
Uh-huh.
And if it was going to be Cooper for Fournette.
Okay.
But if I'd have sent it and you'd accepted it,
Yeah.
I would have only had 2 wide receivers. because
Okay.
St.
Let's
Brown's
work on
out.
a trade for Cooper.
Cooper past 2 weeks, 20.6, 19.6. Playing Atlanta this week. We'll
After
talk about him a little later.
happens later in this podcast, once that goes through, if it goes through, we can have a talk.
It'll go through. All
I've
right.
already done my veto.
Yeah, that's what I was
There we
saying.
go. That takes the Godwins to 0-3 and currently in 8th place. That takes the Fantasy Phenoms to 3-0 and number 1 overall.
Yeah.
Way to go, Ryan.
Thanks, guys.
Way to go, Ryan.
All right, next matchup.
Next
Next
matchup.
matchup.
I want to say, the closest matchup of the week.
Go ahead,
Well, then say it. We had the Turd Sandwiches versus the Cult of Personality. Original projection, 137, Cult of Personality to 115, Turd Sandwiches, but final, a lot closer.
But final.
106 to 100.06. Jake, Russell Wilson let you down. I said it. You'd have won if it wasn't for Russell Wilson.
Did you say Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson,
I don't
let him
know.
down.
What the Wilson? What the
You got to have more than 9 from your quarterback.
At this point in time,
If I had started Brady, I would have won.
You started Brady, you'd have won.
you starting this
But
week?
if I had started Tua, I wouldn't have won.
But didn't we talk about you possibly picking up, who was it, Jared Goff or Stafford, or was that Bryan?
That was
That was
Jordan or Bryan, something.
Okay, yeah.
I-
that was you with Herbert. Yeah. Russell Wilson sucks.
Russell Wilson, no good.
You know,
Christian
I-
Kirk looked pretty good, though. Leading
Christian
scorer.
Kirk's been very target heavy early, and I do like that. Target heavy.
Heavily targeted is what we're going to go with. Back to the top.
Yeah, Christian Kirk led the way for you, Jake. 16.2.
Yep.
Outside of that, your next high score was 12.1. Tyler Lockett.
Jake, your roster looks pretty good on an average week, except for your quarterbacks. You expect your quarterback to get 20.
I don't know
If
that's
your
a
quarterback
slap in the
gets
face or a
20
compliment.
Well, like you get everybody around 10.
And then your
15
quarterback
for
gets
everybody
20.
else, and your quarterback gets 20.
I didn't really have a good
that's a
week.
good
from my
average
two
week.
Wide receivers that I drafted first 2 rounds, expecting like 15 plus, hopefully a week from. If
True.
it wasn't for a touchdown on the very first drive for Devontae,
Yeah, they had bad weeks
wouldn't have
besides
been.
those
Yeah,
touchdowns.
he only had 36 yards. I mean, he was pretty average.
Chase only had 29 yards.
Yeah. Again,
Not great.
Yeah, it wasn't very good. My running backs actually did better. I had better scores on the bench with Elliott and Chase Edmonds.
Should have started
If
early.
you start
Yeah.
Edmonds and Zeke, does that change it?
Yes.
Yes, because
It does. It
Zeke
does.
had like 70-something a touchdown. Not quite 100 a touchdown, which I thought he was going to get.
He wants you
I'm
back,
a bad
Jay.
manager.
I'm not a bad manager, Jay.
No, Zeke knows when I play him. Because when I play Zeke,
It's true.
he goes
That is true.
4 fantasy points,
Listen,
and then
there's-
as soon as
there's
I put
what,
him on the bench, he's
4
like,
years in a row you've had him?
maybe
There's the
6.
track record of this. I mean, statistics. Everything.
Now, Jake, we can remedy this. Tomorrow, you can have a Kansas City Chiefs running back on your roster.
I'm trying to trade right now with like everybody in the league for a running back. So I don't know. Every one of y'all is going to get a trade before.
If you want a Chief for an Elliott, it's on the table.
Barkley.
Hey,
He won it for me.
Well, yes, but
Hey.
I know you drafted him with the expectation of him returning to form.
Mm.
At least you hoped. Was there any fear in the draft pick that he might not be who he was
What'd
that
you get?
rookie
Second
year?
round?
Second round.
Yeah.
The only, again,
Second
same
round.
thing with all the other running backs in the first round. Christian McCaffrey, great player. Does he stay healthy? That's the question.
Wow.
Derrick Henry, great player. Does he stay healthy?
Wow.
That's the question. Dalvin Cook, great player. Does he stay healthy?
Wow.
That's the question.
No, the answer is
Saquon Barkley, great player. Does he stay healthy? That's the
Well,
question.
I mean,
In the second round, I
It was
love
worth
taking
it,
that
yes,
gamble.
I agree with you on that. The second round was his like where he was projected to go this year.
He's a first-round talent
yeah.
with an injury baked in, dropped him to the second.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and then
it's
you
been
take
about
him
2 or 3 years since he's had these performances. I mean, it's not like it was injury last year and the year before that. it was
Broadway
like,
hasn't
no.
been the same.
Yeah,
Last
is
year
the
he
guy
came
that-
back and he wasn't that.
Here's a guy.
Now,
Well,
this is the guy
What
that
was
Elvin
the injury he was
drafted
coming back from last year? Because I
He
know
tore his
Torn
ACL
ACL
and
with a
and
high
then
ankle sprain.
yes.
And I mean, torn ACL. You got some guys who come back like Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, but I mean,
that's
Adrian
that's
Peterson's
an
a
anomaly.
freak.
That's
Yeah.
an
I
anomaly.
guess I'm just trying to say, like, in my opinion, like, I think he's outperformed where I thought he would be playing this year.
He's doing exactly what I thought he would do.
You thought he was going to be
I wanted him.
30, 20, and then his worst game was actually
Absolutely.
against Carolina.
I thought he was going to do what he did when he first came in.
I didn't believe it because I didn't believe in the quarterback either. I think something else that I always factor into a running back decision is a loaded box. That if you have a quarterback that makes secondaries respect it, it opens up running opportunities. And then when you don't have that guy, it's just loaded fronts.
Well, I've always valued Saquon as a slightly lesser version of AP. I thought him like that when he was at Penn State.
I think he's a lot different because he's such a better pass catcher.
Yeah, for me, he's.
I'm just talking about his overall when he's got the ball. Just the way he moves down the field, he's just hard to bring down. I've always thought. And when I saw Saquon's pictures from this summer, I mean, he makes A.J. Dillon's thighs look small now.
If you make a running back in a lab, you're making him look very similar to what Saquon.
Yeah.
How he's built as far as size,
Yeah.
speed,
He
strength,
looked
catching
good.
ability,
So, yeah, I mean, I knew his comeback was coming.
and also
I thought it would have been last year.
since he was healthy, they have drafted.
Since he is not healthy,
No, they're not. They are decimated with injuries.
they are.
They've got 2 top 10 tackles.
Mm-hmm.
They drafted Andrew Thomas out of Georgia, and they drafted Evan Neal out of Alabama.
Yeah.
2 pretty good schools run football.
Yep.
So
Like
But-
Saquon.
Both
They got a
benches had a
quarterback
good
out of Duke.
performance.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Benches. I wish I'd have started some of those guys.
Yeah, Williams, you and
Benches be
we'll be
scoring.
talking about
We'll
maybe
talk.
him in a little bit.
We'll be talking
I
about
like that
benches a
idea.
little bit later.
we be,
And then, I mean, handcuff guys are actually performing. Like, that's another thing that sometimes I like about handcuffs. Can they also have
Kinky.
standalone value?
Mhm.
If that makes sense. So,
Yep.
oh, makes perfect sense.
and then with Jimmy G in, it helps the value of the receiving core, in my opinion.
And the sandwiches are better.
Even though he didn't have a good week, but they did try to get screen games established early on.
You saw the idea,
Yeah. So
Yep.
the game
Yep.
plan.
It came
it
down
hurt
to.
you with David McDermott going out early. 'Cause
Yeah.
He would have had a lot better performance.
I think so.
That
Yeah,
other
that hurt,
fella.
but Jalen Hurts with 33, Saquon with 20. Not a great week, not a pretty week, but
Nice
enough to pull through.
Enough to pull out the dub.
Boom,
And
that's
that's
all
all
that
you
matters.
need. Boom, roasted.
So that takes called a personality 2-3-0 in the third.
Oh,
Whoa, what's
Kyle
up?
Pitts.
he had a good game.
87.
We lost Bryan. I'm not quite sure what happened.
I think it was.
I'm not going back in there to look for him. Last time I did, he ended up in the stupid little jersey.
Oh, man, do it. Kyle Pitts had a better game, 11.2. Need
Hey,
it.
little.
But there'll be more Kyle Pitts talk to come. That takes Golden Personality to 3-0. And in third place, that takes Turd Sandwiches to 0-3 and in ninth place.
Yep.
All right, third matchup from week 3. We have the Battle of the Andrews.
Battle of the Andrews.
All right, so we had the Scorpion King, original projection 122. We had Smith Schuster and the Jujus, original projection.
When, are they touring yet? Or are they still doing that album?
Smith Schuster and the Jujus?
Yeah.
It's going to be after Christmas.
Original projection 119. Final 113 to 98 in favor of Scorpion King.
Good job, Scorp.
Another low scoring matchup. Let's see. Scorp was led by Patrick Mahomes with 19. Everybody else kind of in the teens, other than Dawson Knox with 4.5.
Yeah. Not sure 12.4 is in the teens either, but we'll go with it.
In the
In the
10
teens.
to 19 range.
Yeah.
This podcast takes all responsibility for Andrew Ransdell losing this last week.
What did we say?
Pretty much, he did everything we said he should do.
I told him to keep in Aaron Rodgers because y'all said he'd score under 20. I said he would go over 20.
Yeah, I say
and
he put
got
up like
20.
13 or something.
And Aaron Rodgers with 20.
Yeah.
Devontae Smith on his bench with 26.9.
Yeah.
We told him to pick up a tight end too, and he
We
went
did.
from Taysom Hill to the other New Orleans
I don't
tight
think
end.
that would have made a difference. I think he would have won if he just
I don't
stuck
think the
with
dude had a
line.
catch or a target.
Let's check him out. In week 3, Juwan Johnson had 1 target. Zero.
receptions, 0 yards.
Yeah. He was led by Marquise Hollywood Brown with 21.
He did have him on the bench though when we did the podcast last week,
Yes.
Yes.
so he put him in. So that's
But he took out Smith.
yep, that also happened.
Yeah.
Yes.
If he switches Devontae Smith and James Conner,
We told him to put Connor back in too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I told you.
Hey.
We take sole responsibility. for
Ransdale,
this
so
loss.
we made some improvements. We made a lot of
Bad
bad decisions for you, buddy. Recommendations.
yeah, those just his guys that he needed just didn't come through. Kyler Murray with 13, Debo with 10, McCaffrey with 12. I'm hesitant to even say J.K. Dobbins or
It's not hard.
Connor.
You already did when you just said you were hesitant to do it.
I guess I did. You know, that's true.
Talk about a real slow progression back to play.
JK?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
kidding.
you're not kidding.
I tried that trade for him.
Yeah, that was his first appearance in the 2022 football season. 7 attempts.
Welcome.
23 yards, 2 catches, 17 yards. Finishes with 5 points. Let's see. Did he have didn't really have much on the bench. Rashad Penny,
It's a lot higher
7.4.
scoring game than I thought it was going to be.
The biggest scoring output actually came on Scorp's bench from Khalil Herbert. Coming in,
Lineup.
yeah, who will be in the starting lineup this week, came in for an injured David Montgomery. Yeah, not really too much to say on really either side. Marquise Brown, good game. Outside of that, it's pretty much average or below average for both squads.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think Andrew.
This was I think only one person beat their projection this week.
Yeah, it was a bad week.
It was
Jordan actually said that. Said this is the bad week.
Well, no, actually, we said that on the podcast.
And then Jordan changes his name to reflect.
Jordan
the
keeps
podcast.
receipts, is what we're telling.
He does. I wonder what receipts he's going to be keeping a little bit later.
I don't know.
Good question.
CVS receipts, they're pretty long.
So that takes the Scorpion King to 3-0. And
Did
in
he change
fourth
his
place.
profile picture to a different Scorpion, like the Mortal Kombat one, instead of the?
Kind
the
of looks
rock
like it. I don't know. I can't really make out much of it from here.
Well, I know it's not Dwayne Johnson anymore. I'm pretty sure that's Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, but I can't.
Well,
Confirm.
Scorpion from Mortal Kombat is not the Scorpion King.
But he is a Scorpion.
He is a Scorpion.
Somebody fucked up that one.
Way to go!
We'll see what this means for his future.
Is this the turning point?
It might be. Scorpion King 3-0 and in fourth, and it takes Smith Schuster and the Jujus to 0-3 and in 10th place.
Where are we going now?
Shysta. We are going to Jordon versus Mikkel, fourth matchup of week 3.
Man, trash
We
talk.
finally got him rid of his team name.
We have
Number 11's not padding the stats no more, boys.
No.
Nah, he's not padding the stats. We have this is the bad matchup week.
It should have been that was the bad matchup.
It should. With an original projection of 127 versus 50 Shades of Trey.
Sultry, please.
How do we
Define sultry again.
Exact opposite of what you just did.
Hmm.
You don't like being put on the spot.
Especially with words that I'm not 100% sure what they mean.
50 Shades of Trey.
Oh,
Yes.
that's what you want me to do.
Yes.
Negative Robertson. Original projection 110 for 50
Positive
Shades of Trey.
Robertson over there, though.
The final 135 to 77.
Yes.
Biggest blowout of the week.
Blowout!
Thank God it wasn't me.
Let's see. We have Jordan with 2 scores over 20. Joe Burrow, who put up 29.
That's a bounce back.
And the other,
Man.
Mark Andrews, his third round pick. Second tight end. So you take Travis Kelce in the second. Boom.
Eckler was first.
I remember.
You remember all Michael's picks from that one podcast. That was first round pick, right? That was second round pick, right?
Hey, man, I've been studying my draft board. That's what we call value based on draft capital. When you look at the draft board and you see how much somebody invested in them originally.
Yes, indeed.
Draft capital,
Draft capital.
perceived value,
Washington, D.C.
actual value. We're learning some stuff today, boys.
Look at us.
Terms.
Mark
And
Andrews,
conditions.
So word wall.
24.9. Again, rest of this team. Travis Kelce with 15.
Not terrible.
Not terrible. Not really much else to say anywhere else. Terry McLaurin, Jalen Waddle in the 13s. Just solid week kind of all around
He had
for.
James Robinson on his bench.
He does.
Yeah.
Man
He's the
doesn't
third
want to
runner-
start this guy.
His third running back in football right now.
Yep. And he doesn't want to start it.
I'll use him if you don't want to use him.
Oh, I hear some trade bait.
Ooh. It's pretty easy to trade with.
He's being facetious.
Word ball.
Word wall.
What's the name?
Take-
Face shish.
Okay. You're doing this phonetically,
Yes.
even
Yes.
though you asked for a definition.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We're
50
trying to
Shades of
class
Trey.
this podcast up. We're just trying to use big words.
Facetious? I use that a lot. That's actually one of my
I'm
go-tos.
talking about the whole gambit of today.
Gambit.
Ooh. Word ball.
I figured we're going to keep doing it. Let's keep doing it.
This is the most intellectual podcast on the fantasy football realm of things.
Indubitably.
Hey, he goes to one.
Is that what you went with?
He goes to one class on a Saturday. We come back. This guy's a Mr. SAT word over
Still don't know what sultry means, though.
That's fair.
50 Shades of Trey, man, just a bad week outside of Derek Carr, 23. DJ Moore, who I said was going to be a top 3 receiver, looks like a bottom 3 receiver.
Who else did you say was going to be a top receiver on your season-long predictions? Pretty sure he plays for the Giants.
And he's on my team now.
Yeah.
And I'm excited.
Let me see.
I'm excited. DJ Moore with 2 points.
Was he aroused?
DJ Moore has a total of
Right back.
7 catches on the season.
On the season? You had a bold prediction for week 1. He'd have 10 one week.
Yeah, he might not have 10 the whole season. But we'll continue.
Yes.
DeAndre Swift played last week.
Some.
Very little. Had 10 touches. But
10 touches.
obviously not really
That
the
was
same
9.
player.
One more
But
time. There we go.
with saying that, the week before he only had 7 touches and still ended up, being a pretty good fantasy value.
Well said.
Don't say that on the podcast.
Yeah, keep that stuff to yourself, all right?
That's a big word thing.
Yeah, DeAndre Swift's usage has been down, but I imagine that probably has something to do with the shoulder and ankle injuries. Is that correct?
Yeah, the shankles.
Shankles. Shoulder, ankle.
Knees and toes.
Yes.
All right.
Back
God, I want to punch you in the face.
That's a weekly occurrence.
That would be touch number 11 though. You can't do it.
Ramondre Stevenson back to have in New England.
Yes, I like him. I like him a lot.
Kind of had a possibly breakout performance. Put up 18 with 12 carries, 71 yards, touchdown, and 4 receptions for 28 yards.
Yet again, that was part of the higher scoring game I see happening.
Very true. Mac Jones did leave that game early.
McCorkle.
So what could that mean for Ramondre Stevenson? We'll find out.
More carries.
Stay here
tuned.
for more.
Heavier box, is what Jake said earlier.
Man, Michael's bench looked
Heavy box.
bad too. 4 from Justin Fields.
Ew.
Dude, they throw it like 15 times a game.
That's it.
They were getting blown out by the Packers the other day. Had 11.
Yeah, so Justin Fields, what is his fantasy value? Does he have any?
No.
I don't think so either. I mean, he did have 47 rush yards, but again,
That just
That's
gives him a
pretty
floor,
much-
But if there's nothing other than that,
he had 4.9.
and he got
Yards.
4.7 just for rushing yards.
Right. So, I mean, his value only comes from his legs. At least that's the way it's looking right now.
So he got what 4 points for his passing yards, and then 2 picks. So that takes
Takes away those.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Darnell Mooney, who seems unusable because they only throw it 10 times a game.
That would be
15.
I said 15. You know, I'm taking that back. Because I don't know if they've thrown it that many times. It don't tell me attempts.
17, 11, 17.
Okay, so they throw 15 times a game.
Yeah, roughly.
Outside of that, for Michael, not much.
Michael started an optimum lineup, but you have 0 from Jacoby Myers didn't play, 0 from Julio who didn't play, and 0 from Dalton Schultz who didn't play.
I also had 0 in the starting lineup with the
And
Los Angeles
0
Chargers,
from the Chargers, which we don't talk about that game.
who got blown out.
Bye.
Jacksonville,
Yeah.
38-10.
Not
Yeah.
the first.
Is
time.
this the end of the Chargers?
Yes.
No, this just shows. Hey, everybody with high expectations on the Chargers. Chargers going to Charger.
Chargers going to Charger. That's what they
I
said.
can't stop it.
Lost their left tackle for the year, who was
Yeah, I did hear that.
All-Pro last year.
I did
as
hear
a
that.
rookie.
So
And
tough,
Joey Bosa
tough week for Michael.
and Jalen Gay.
Best week of the
Best week of the week.
best week of the week for Jordan.
Yes,
So that takes this is the bad matchup week
Jordan.
to 3-0 and in second place.
Yep.
And it takes 50 Shades of Trey to 1-3 and in sixth place. There we go. Thank you, Ryan.
Got you, bud.
All right, our matchup of the week for week 3 was
Bryan versus
Broach.
somebody.
Well, of course it had to be Bryan. Bryan is the matchup of the week man.
And it's killing
Stay
me.
tuned for
It's
later
killing me.
when we announce our matchup for this week.
Really killing me.
So we had victim of the system, original projection, 128. We had
Squeaky toy.
we had Lamar's Chubby with the original projection 121. Final
Didn't get there.
99 to 109 in favor of
Lamar's Chubby.
Lamar's Chubby.
It came out on top.
I wonder who's on Lamar's Chubby.
Oh, a lot of guys.
I meant the team. I meant the team.
I meant the team. Can't be fooled.
Lamar Jackson with 47. That is
He puts him,
45% of.
He puts
Broach's
him as
output?
the number 1 fantasy player.
And Nick Chubb was his second highest score with 17.3.
Wonder if everybody has renamed their team based off of their top 2 scores.
No.
What would your team name be?
I don't even know who my top 2 scores are.
Oh, I don't like what my team name would be.
Mine would be Allen Diggs or Diggs Allen. I don't know.
Mine would be Barkley Hurt.
Does it?
I don't want that. I don't want that at all.
That was a fun game that 2 of us participated in.
Actually, it might be Cup Hurts. Either way, I don't really like it.
Cupboards?
Cup Hurts?
Probably not.
Anyways, Nick Chubb 17.3, AJ Brown 17. Those are your leading scores for Lamar's Chubby.
And everybody else was under 5.
Yes.
Jonathan Taylor with 10, but Jonathan Taylor having 10 feels like under 5.
Yeah, and he missed a practice for the first time in his life this week. We'll talk about that.
Apparently, we'll talk about that later. For victim of the system, Chargers' bad week reflected in Justin Herbert's play.
Yep.
14, only achieving half of his
Projection.
Led by Derrick Henry. Is he back?
No.
Bryan said he was going to be good.
I say he's gonna have a good week.
22.8. He is not back. You're not a believer in this game.
Not yet.
20 rushes, 85 yards, touchdown, 5
I was
receptions.
about to say they threw the ball to
They
him.
did
which
throw
is
the
good.
ball to him.
That was
If they can incorporate that,
If he can
might
start
be able
catching
to stay.
passes.
And he can pass.
And he can pass.
So, Bryan, not a believer in Derrick Henry's season, but 22.8, good start.
Haven't seen her face yet.
I'm a believer.
Easy.
Outside of that,
was not a
for
sour face.
victim of the system, your second highest score goes to Donkey Kong Metcalf.
Ooh, DK.
Had a little breakout after I bashed him last week.
It's short-lived.
5 receptions, 64 yards, touchdown on 12 targets. Targets
Yeah,
look good.
Targets were-
Now, are
And
you
Moss and
worried
Dukes.
about the Super Mario fella down there in New Orleans? Super Camario. You worried about him?
I honestly don't
You
like
should
the
have
guy.
started the other guy. The one that you had a gut feeling about. You
The other
picked him
Saints?
up as soon as he was dropped, and he got a lot of targets.
Well,
did.
Michael Thomas
He
went down that
is
game, and Jarvis
in the
Landry was
lineup
out.
and will be in the lineup for the foreseeable
Yeah,
future.
13 targets, 147.
For those listening at home, we were talking about Chris Olave.
I've been a Olave guy since Olave was born.
I don't know.
A little weird.
That's that kid's going to Ohio State,
I don't like Ohio State.
and I love Ohio State.
Yes.
Fuck Michigan.
Didn't know he went to Ohio State.
Also, yes.
Yes, I don't like Big Ten schools.
I like Wisconsin.
Yeah, of course you would. You badger.
Andrew's cousin.
I hear you, Rainsdale.
Andrew's cousin that goes to Wisconsin.
That goes to Wisconsin?
That lives in
Goes to
Wisconsin.
Yeah, that
That
goes,
goes
to
to
Wisconsin.
Goes to Wisconsin. Chris Olave, 9 receptions, 147 yards, and according to Bryan, will be in the lineup for the foreseeable future.
Check his lineup this week. See if it's true.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's wait on
Hold
that.
your horses.
They
Wait-
can do it now. And
Wait
so
till
they can-
matchup of the week.
Spoiler alert,
Yeah.
it is.
Spoiler alert, spoiler alert.
Well,
Now with Jameson. Oh, we'll talk about that.
last thing, Allen Robinson. Is he even start worthy anymore? At all?
Has he been?
Touchdown dependent. If you don't get a touchdown, he's not in the lineup.
He's only getting like 3 or 4 targets a
Which
game.
I hate social media because they just blew up Allen Robinson this offseason. Like, look at him in practice. Look at this catch.
Hey.
Look at that catch.
They did that last
This is
year.
technically part of social media.
Yeah, because it was all done by people at the practice with their cell phones.
It was
and put it on
bashing
Twitter.
us.
That's what I'm saying. I drafted him early last year thinking it was going to be,
No.
Allen Robinson, you're a tease. You need Blake Bortles back.
Allen Robinson,
Let him come back.
a total of 7 catches on the season for less than 100 yards. Does have 1 touchdown. I don't think he's start worthy.
He's getting targeted in the
Again.
red zone, and that's about it.
Yep.
Yep. All right, so that takes. Why did I lose it? Oh, that takes Bryan to 0-3 and in 7th place. That takes Broach to 2-1 and in 5th place. All right, and that wraps up week 3.
Wrapped up.
So let's see how we did on picks.
All right, on picks. Let's go to matchup picks week 3. Bryan. Pretty daggum good. Let's see what he got. You're killing it, buddy. 5-0.
Boom!
Dude, you might not be able to win a week in fantasy.
Brings
but-
you to 13-2.
Killing it.
Lee, dude.
Yep.
I'm just copying your picks this week.
Sharing the spotlight, Michael, also 5-0.
Wow.
Wasn't present for the podcast,
Well,
but
he
texted
listened to Brian's picks and then sent those.
That's what I'm going to do.
Michael texted his picks.
It's just said
5-0 brings him to 10-5, and then just 3. The original 3 are very unoriginal. All went 4-1, and are all now 9-6.
that's just.
How does it feel? You winning picks?
Do not give a shit.
That was me last year.
JT was pretty excited about it last year, though.
I had to be
Well, you
excited.
got to
about
hang on to a
something.
little bit of something
Yeah,
when
yeah.
when you're just shit in the bed.
That's fair. Ooh, that's messy.
How's
You know what helps? Get brown sheets.
that help?
It might smell still, but you won't be able to see it.
Out of sight, out of mind.
I'm right.
All right, bold predictions from last week. How many do we have, Ron?
All right, let's go back to that.
What
Bold
many?
predictions for week 3. JT didn't give any for any reason.
Oh, I see him right here. I can go down.
Michael didn't have any reason to not
You
pick
mean
any.
Sam?
He didn't.
Give me a second.
Brian had 4. Damian Pierce has the first 10-plus fantasy point game of his career.
Anyone check it?
Hey, Yahtzee!
Yes.
Next one, Brian's favorite tight end, Kyle Pitts, 50 yards and a touchdown.
I had 50 yards, no
Wrong.
touchdown. So
Wrong.
Half right, but all wrong. His semi-bold prediction was
Oh, you had a semi.
Dawson Knox with
Always.
45-plus yards and a touchdown. Also
Wrong.
Ooh, you're not doing very good anymore.
Brian says Aaron Rodgers, 15 or under fantasy points.
Bro.
Wrong.
What did he end up with?
He had
1
20
and
point
3.
something.
1 and 3 for Brian.
All right, Jake had 4 bold predictions last week.
Here comes a bunch of wrong boys.
Drake London, 75 yards and a touchdown.
Wrong.
Dalvin Cook, 20-plus fantasy points.
Wrong.
In a dislocated shoulder. Jake, Cortland Sutton with 100-plus yards and a touchdown.
I don't
Wrong,
know.
Russell Wilson sucks.
Wrong.
Yeah, why?
And last one, Alvin Kamara with 20-plus fantasy points.
Damn, I suck.
Wrong.
Why would you
0
do
for
that?
4.
Wrong.
Dude,
You followed up 0 for 6 with 0 for 4.
I don't know fantasy football, boys. I don't know what do I do here on this
You're out of it, Jake.
I don't know. All right. None for JT, none for Michael. Ryan, Tyler Lockett, 75 yards and a touchdown.
Wrong.
Half right, all wrong.
All wrong.
Ryan also said Ezekiel Elliott, 100-plus total yards and a touchdown. Half right, all wrong, wrong.
Wrong.
So that brings our total to Ryan 0 for 2, Jake 0 for 4,
Brian
one
for
for
3.
4.
1 for 4.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
So y'all win a combined 1 for
1 for 9.
I'll carry the
Or
torch
1
on
out of
that.
10. 1 and 9.
batting 100. You're not gonna stay in the lineup very long doing that, boys.
You better be a
You're Marcelo Zerna, you are.
you better be a you better be a brilliant
He hits
catcher
a ball
or a
every once in a
defensive
while.
wizard at shortstop.
Every 100th at bat.
Yeah, okay. That's still every once in a while.
Waiver wire trade. Waiver wire trade. Which one you want? Which one you want? Which
Waiver
one you
wire.
want? Waiver wire.
Hey, whoa. Before we get into this week's, we got to go back to last week's.
Oh, look at this! It's a callback for
Yeah, I got a
you
callback.
got makeup work.
Okay.
$100. Splurging your load.
That's like you paid $100 and didn't even get a dinner.
And then he got hurt.
Where does that happen? Maybe random in high school extravaganza, maybe.
We need them people.
They need to know.
All right, huh?
I was hungry.
We're all from there.
So what made you do it?
Well, I wanted to support the program. He promised me black powder barbecue. That microphone still works if you cover it up. Jake just did it.
What are we talking about?
You spent $100 on Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, I had $100 to spend.
All right, just give us your thoughts. We gave ours. Give yours.
I think he's good.
Okay. Hey, easy. We're talking about the jet here.
Did it get persuaded by Andrew Spear?
No, told him right off the bat. Said, don't waste your money. He's mine.
All right.
If it
$83
did,
it is.
because if it
$4 I'm
did,
going in.
if I was worried about him taking him, I'd have just put 85 or 84 or whatever.
Well, he
he
could have
did.
changed it. You wanted to make sure you got
Yeah.
him without
Mhm.
doubt.
Yeah, and I knew
didn't know
nobody.
Scorp had drove you up.
Nope. I told him. I told him before I even knew he put anything on him. I said,
Are you worried about injuries?
nope.
Okay.
Check my bench, bitch.
All right.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, Jake, check it.
All right.
I'm ready for injuries. Oh, I'm ready, boys. I got 4 people. I got 4 people out this week. Do I care? Not one bit.
Well, apparently you got to be because you spent
Oh, it's
$100 to
coming.
have the dude on your bench. last
You're
week.
getting
Yeah, on my
way
bench
too
last
confident about it.
Is he on there this week? We'll
It's
find
coming,
out.
buddy.
We'll find out.
folks.
It's coming.
Hey, fortune favors the bold. Remember that,
That's
boys.
a crypto commercial from Matt Damon.
Remember that,
He ain't
boys.
no dummy.
Remember that,
You-
boys. All right, waiver wire for this week. We had Mac Hollins go to Bryan for
17.
$18. We
He's
had
a Carolina boy. Nice.
Tyler
Desperate times, desperate
Conklin
measures.
going to Mr. Rand's Diddy Ball for
Yeah.
$14. We had 2 quarterbacks, both go for $4 to Mr. Michael Smith.
Michael picked up both of them.
Jared Goff and Trevor Lawrence.
Yes.
I like the Trevor Lawrence pickup.
And
I picked
lastly,
up
we
Trevor
had
Lawrence.
Zay
Plus
Jones.
Wilson the other week.
Zay Jones going for $2 to Tyler. Any of those jump off the board at you?
I like
Lawrence.
Michael making the pickup with.
Yeah, Michael pivoting from Lance and Fields to good quarterbacks.
I tell you what, man,
Lawrence and
it's
Goff.
amazing
Good
what
this
a
year. Good this year.
coach can do for a
That
good
makes a
young player.
difference there, doesn't it?
Because guys, there was a reason why he was like the number 1 overall pick. Everyone was
You
fighting to get that pick for Trevor Lawrence. He was very successful in college. Was the highest.
You got to convince me.
They compared him to 2
Rated-
players in Peyton
yeah.
Manning and Andrew Luck. The only 2
Yeah.
comparisons he's got coming out of college.
And he had a
There's nothing
horrible
about it.
year last year. But I'm telling you what,
Good.
You put him in a
Yes.
good program.
and he's moving the ball around. A lot of those receivers are getting involved. Not just Christian Kirk, Marvin Jones Jr., Zay Jones. I mean, he is moving the ball. They got a good running game that's also opening up opportunities for him. James Robinson looks well, and then
Urban Meyer benched James Robinson at the beginning of the year last year because he had 1 fumble and was playing Aguabanam or whatever that other dude's name was. It was
good luck, Nebraska. College football reference. They're trying.
Scott Frost got fired, so they're going to upgrade to Urban Meyer.
Jack Frost, brother.
Mm.
Yes, indeed.
I don't know college football.
We're aware.
But your Christmas movies are on point.
Hey.
We're talking about Michael Keaton, though, Jack Frost, right?
Yeah.
Matt Collins could have some value. Matt Collins could have some value.
So
Matt Collins will sit there until you got to see because Renfro's back, so you got to
No,
see.
Renfro ain't back.
No,
He still ain't passed
no,
concussion
he is not
protocol.
passing.
Oh, he's not going to after what happened to Tua.
No, I bet.
R.I.P. Coolio.
I was talking about
Right.
that today.
Yeah.
Like, I think they've basically swept concussions under the rugs. They haven't been talking about them much. That happened on prime time on Thursday. I feel
Yeah.
like they're
And
gonna
everyone
start
knew
cracking
before
down again.
then.
You know,
He should have came back in the
making
game
a
the
big
week
deal
before.
about Amazon re-showing that. show it. If they're going to fuck up and do things like that,
Because Jalen Waddle was supposed
You
to steal
need to
third.
see it.
Obviously,
Yeah.
Tua gave him the signal. He didn't steal third. I mean,
Yeah.
what are we doing?
Huh?
That was the signal to steal third. Jalen Waddle just went, man, okay.
New guy reference.
damn.
Yeah, I mean,
situation.
But you don't know Eddie Griffin?
No, I ain't never met the guy. It's the movies he's been in.
New guy.
yeah, the Tua concussion looked. I mean, it looked bad.
Did
I
he?
mean,
Do you
That
guys
right
think he
there
had one
has
last
altered
week?
his career.
I dropped
I
him just
agree.
for the sake of they're going to be so.
Well, last week when he got
Caution.
hit and he started stumbling,
Yeah.
they should have had the
He
caution.
should have
to beat
never
him.
came
Chris
back.
Berman was talking about it.
Stumbling, bumbling, rumbling.
Fell in again.
I mean, it looked bad because.
I shouldn't have said that.
Well, that's what people come here to listen for,
That
right?
was awful.
You're right, though. Lost Bryan.
That was awful.
He lost himself.
He's coming back.
He M&M'd.
I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, I mean, he did get banged up. Pretty
yeah.
big hit
That's what he said.
last Sunday. 5 days later, plays. They say that he passes all the concussion protocols, but
message.
yeah, that looked really bad.
It wasn't good.
He had a impact seizure. I mean, that's so
Okay.
it ended up again looking a lot worse than just, I guess, what a regular concussion would look like.
Oh, yeah.
The matchup rating for Yahoo before Thursday night's game says Tua Tagovailoa is dealing with multiple injuries for the Dolphins, but if he can suit up in Week 4, he'll get a Cincinnati defense. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
blah, blah. He was already dealing with multiple injuries before this week started. But
They said back
they
and
said it was
ankle.
back and ankle.
Yeah.
And I think it might have been.
Yeah, I don't know how long Tua's going to be out. Again, it just comes down to passing the concussion protocol,
It does.
which for some players that seems to be shorter. For some players that seems to be longer.
Yeah.
I don't know. If I was Mike McDaniel, I would hold him out for at least a few weeks.
That's why
even
you can't-
if he passes concussion.
But they won't
protocol.
even put him as out. That's what bothers me the most. Like sometimes when you're trying
Yeah,
to
I
hold
can't
on to
use him in my
someone
homer spot.
and they're like, "Well, he's questionable now." No,
Where's his
he's
backup?
he's
Oh, Teddy.
good.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Played pretty decent.
Yeah, I
when
mean,
he came
and
in.
I think
Teddy's
that
not close.
I
He
think
cannot
this,
close out a game.
Well, neither could
No,
Tua a couple
but
years ago when they kept taking him out and putting
this
Jacoby
isn't so
and
much about
Fitzpatrick
win
in.
and lose situation as it is fantasy value. So the only person at the table that owns we both own the running backs. You're the only
You've got
one that owns
Tyreek and
So
Jordan has.
how do you think that does impact fantasy value?
I don't think
Tyreek's
it's
that
Tyreek
good
at
of
all.
a
yeah.
player.
I think he's quarterback
But
proof.
he doesn't throw as big of like Teddy Bridgewater. He's not last couple of years. He doesn't go downfield.
And
He
Tua-
hit Tyreek on a 64-yarder, and it
Tua
was
doesn't
all
have arrow
air.
strength either. You saw that pick that he threw in the first half. Tyreek had the dude by a step, and he just underthrew him by
Yeah.
4 or 5.
I
steps.
do agree with Tyreek is that special. Like
Yeah.
you
They're
just give
gonna
him the
design
ball,
plays
just
That
let him
man can
ball.
take a slant route for
Okay.
40 yards.
You can do a basic handoff, and he's
Yeah, I mean,
one guy misses.
Wouldn't
touchdown.
surprise me if they do some of that now.
Oh,
They're going to
I
find ways to get Tyreek the
Yeah,
ball.
But their
Yes.
running game hasn't
Playmaker.
really been good. And
No.
that's a little surprising to me considering how good that offensive line is supposed to be. I mean, you picked
The
up
running game
Mostert
problem-
hoping that he would. He didn't do anything this week. They didn't even give him the ball.
No,
and
why
the
I
red
picked up
zone
most-
back is Chase Edmonds.
No, they
which
just gotta
makes
make a
zero
decision.
sense to me. Chase Edmonds comes in. They're like, all right, inside the 20, Chase is in. He's getting all the touchdowns.
They said they built the team with Mike McDaniel to be running a Kyle Shanahan offense. Kyle Shanahan offense is predicated on the run
Zone,
game.
yeah, zone blocking.
Miami's is like, hey, we're doing zone blocking, but it's to basically just do the passing
yeah,
game. Like,
which
they
is
have no
weird
running game.
that you zone block for passing.
Yeah.
Mostert did have his most touches and most yards of the season this past Thursday night.
You got what, like 60 or 70
69
yards?
yards rushing. But yeah, I mean, fantasy-wise, Mostert, Edmonds is kind of hard to figure out on a given week.
They're going to have to choose one of them and let them establish.
I mean,
the game.
again, they were 3-0 going into Thursday night, and Thursday night was going to be a tough game no matter what because their defense is on the field, 90
Especially, playing
plays.
against Buffalo. like they did.
With Tua being his status up in the air, it was going to be tough for them to win that game. And Thursday night at Cincinnati kind of
With them
started.
pulling out the all whites with the white helmets, which looked good.
Those
by
did
the
look
way.
good.
So,
Maybe the snow game, you ain't going to be able to see them.
oh, yes,
Like a snow, like a Siberian.
good point. All right, let's pivot to trade review. We did have a trade go through yesterday, late last night during Hurricane Ian,
Oh man, wind swept through here.
as it went straight through
Oh,
Randolph
man.
and Guilford County.
The transactions on the website doesn't show pending trades.
Okay, I got it on top of my head.
I'm
We
just
have
trying to show it to the folk.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Drake London going from Scorp to Ryan for George Kittle and Cordero Patterson.
Yeah.
Who wins the trade, Jake?
Scorp, you can say it.
Yeah.
I sent the trade and I already texted and said I
Dummy.
regretted it.
Yeah. So Cordell he was one of those that we all thought would fall off. Hasn't. He's the
Didn't
fourth
fall.
running back, I think, in the fantasy football right now.
Mhm.
But
Well,
if
good.
you're looking at it like Ryan, maybe saying his trade value is the highest it might be right
Probably
now,
is.
the other running backs start to emerge or kind of regain their footing. Maybe.
But the same thing with the running back I traded for. CEH's running back.
Yeah, why'd you
Value
do that?
probably.
That's like me
Hey,
trading
he's got a
for
hold
Zeke.
on.
like
He's got a
CEH.
hold on me. I told Scorp in the text. Let's see what I said. Y'all keep talking.
It's like me trading for Zeke. Like, well,
You
don't
would do
have
it.
to.
You would
I
do
draft
it.
him.
You
well,
would
yeah,
do
I
it.
told y'all going in the draft I wouldn't draft him, and then he's
Look
got
what
a
you
hold
did.
on. He's got me. I can't get loose. I want to. I've offered him in 8 trades already this week. No one will take them.
I
It's
said
not
I
my fault.
Shouldn't have took him.
sent the trade and I told Scorp I immediately regretted that trade after sending it, but CEH has some kind of control over me. I have an irrational feeling he'll be used more than he is. But I've had that feeling for 3 years now.
Man, he's good. He's not as good as I think he is, but I want him.
No, I think he's good. I just don't think he's getting used.
Brian, who wins the trade?
It's
Scorp. I'm gonna go Scorp as well. Difference maker at tight end, which he needs because Dawson Knox just hadn't been in.
with Jimmy G. Yep.
The
Yep.
reason why I needed wide receivers.
Drake May
Drake
rushing
London
touchdown.
is a wide receiver.
Drake London looks
I
good.
had wide receivers. I would have happily taken Patterson.
And y'all have done nothing but bash Patterson all the time on the podcast.
So what?
I admit last week I
I gave
screwed
up
up.
Christian Kirk for him.
I know, but I sent a trade to Ransdale that I wish would have got accepted
What was the trade?
beforehand. Patterson and Kittle
For
for Debo and J.K.
J.K.
Dobbins.
Why didn't you take down the one to Scorp then? Because I love Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Because it was the
That would have
storm
been a more
going
balanced
on.
trade.
The storm was going on, and I just got I wanted to trade.
Antsy.
I did.
Why y'all trading anyway, man? Y'all both
I
at
don't
the
know, but I'm
top.
going to tell you this. All the
But an
dropping
undefeated trade
ads.
to an undefeated
I
trade.
don't like
Yesterday was just an odd day because there were a shit ton of dropping ads yesterday.
There were quite a
There were
few.
a shit ton of them.
I had to wait on some guys to be declared out before I could maneuver my
Right.
roster. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I picked up a defense. But,
Yeah.
and Dontrell Hilliard, but that's neither here nor there.
Oh, that's everywhere.
Sure.
But yeah, I think the consensus goes to Scorp on Kittle Patterson. Again, tight end upgrade and running back / flex upgrade. I like both. CEH, hey, Brian, if they use him like you
If
think they
Jared
will,
McKinnon would just fall off a cliff, like why does he continue to get used?
because he's a solid player and they trust him.
They do trust him.
Mhm.
They
I
should.
trust them.
They trust him last year in the playoffs.
I know.
Yep.
He's a
they
solid
got-
player.
Yep.
Drake London though does look good.
I like Drake.
Drake London's been a stud, so I'm all for
upside.
Drake
And
London.
especially if we had a keeper league where you could have carried that.
I've drafted Drake London in our
Yeah.
keeper league
Yeah.
for that reason.
So
But now I've got another reason why I did it is because usually rookie wide receivers are average if they're highly drafted at the beginning of the season, then they got a chance to go off in the second half of the year. I got Drake London and Traylon Burks waiting for those.
yeah,
Explosions.
who's your tight end now?
Gerald Everett,
Which is
tight
gonna
end
be-
for the Chargers.
Yeah.
He's been averaging like 7 to
This
12
is a
every
good-
week.
I think he's a top 10.
Which
tight
Kittle
end.
has been out, and last week I think he got 3.
Yeah, some of this
So-
does. I think you did bring up a good point. A lot of this does hinge on Kittle staying healthy as well.
Yes.
Yeah, and also I feel like
Return-
with me being 3-0, I can try to take those risks of getting players that might boom in the second half of the year.
Oh yeah, I mean this is the time to
Oh,
start
yeah.
building towards.
Oh yeah, sure.
All right.
So, does anyone want to guess the top 5 tight ends in the league right now? This is
I
pretty
don't
interesting.
want to.
Mark Andrews, Travis
Number 1,
Kelce.
Number 2.
Then I'm going to go to. I'm going to say Zach Ertz is 5.
Zach Ertz is 3.
Oh,
Dude, we've been just
Gone.
consistently gobbling up targets.
all right. Give me
Oh,
Gerald
go.
Everett then.
He's
Not top 5.
He didn't
7.
do well last week.
Okay. Give me. Who don't doubt? No.
OJ Howard scored
Not
twice,
Dallas
I think,
Goddard.
week 1, but he
He's
can't be
outside
up
of
there.
top 10.
Yeah,
now.
not Dallas Goddard. Give me.
Goddard's 5th.
Oh, Goddard is.
So who do we need? 4th?
Yep.
I've named the rest of them,
I'll give
boys.
you a hint.
Njoku.
He's like not. He was picked up this week.
Conklin?
Conklin.
Conklin, really?
Conklin's 4th.
Interesting.
CJ Uzomah, I think, is supposed to be back either this past week or this week for the Jets, and they spent a lot of money on him in free agency from the Bengals. So
So
You never know.
and Zach Wilson's back, so this entire passing game could be different than what it has been. I mean, you know how prolific Joe Flacco is.
That's
Don't you?
again. That's why I wanted Garrett Wilson.
Because
Freaking
Flacco's
Zach
better.
Wilson has to no. Zach Wilson has to be
So
better than Joe
who's Zach
Flacco.
Wilson's guy?
Well,
Because
Slot
they love-
receiver.
They love Elijah
Slot
Moore,
receiver.
which is Elijah Moore.
Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson's
line up
lined
and
up a
slot.
lot, but Elijah
Slot.
Moore hasn't been. I don't know. I just don't know.
So I'm
He
telling
threw
you,
the ball a lot to Elijah Moore
he
last
did
year.
when Elijah Moore was lined up in the slot.
Sure, it could be. Could be. We don't know. Same to see.
All right, let's go to week 4, gentlemen.
Let's go.
Week 4,
Week 4 first matchup is.
a good one.
I thought you me to say?
Yeah, I don't have them written down.
Scribe. Tyler versus JT. That's me. Week 4, we have the Godwins. Original projection 110 to Cult of Personalities 143 live projection. After Tyreek Hill going Thursday night, putting up 20.9.
It's a good start. It's a good start.
It's a good change.
Justin Jefferson playing in London. Is this his bounce back game?
Oh,
Question
New
for-
Orleans second.
question for you
I
guys.
feel like
New
New
Orleans
Orleans
secondary is
secondary
good.
9:30 a.m. start.
What is that in London time?
Is that a prime time game?
It's like a.
It's about a 1
8:30.
o'clock.
No.
It's about a
This
1
does
o'clock.
not bode well for Kirk Cousins.
Is that
A whole
prime time
country
because it's in a
watching
different
him?
country?
That is true.
Because we've seen Kirk Cousins in
Actually,
prime
two
time here.
countries, because we'll be up at 9:30. Like, what else is
Yeah.
on
6
TV?
hours.
Actually, it's the
Holy cow.
UK.
What are they?
I think
Oh
they're
my
3 or
God, it's a
4.
whole kingdom
It's
watching
a
it.
United Kingdom,
Yeah.
dude.
1976.
Bitch, Kirk Cousins, a whole kingdom's watching them.
You've got England, you got Northern Ireland, you got
Think about
Wales.
it.
That's 3 countries within a kingdom. Bench him. He might get Jay Cutler level negative points.
Thielen now scores Jefferson this week.
Does he?
So we're not okay. I'm writing it down. Bold prediction. How you spell Thielen?
T-H-I-L.
yeah. I had to
Is
think
it
about
an
it.
EI or IE?
I thought it was
No, that's Nelly.
P.
All right,
There's
Thielen
no C.
over Jefferson goes to Bryan.
The I before E, except after C.
But
Sounding
sometimes.
like A is a neighboring way, and weekend and holidays and all through that way, and you
I-
never be right no matter what you say. That only really applies
Okay,
to
gotcha.
words, not names. Because you can just
What is a name?
But a word.
There you go.
But you can spell them however you want to. Like,
Oh, I've seen.
yeah,
Especially in today's climate.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Give me Aaron Jones for 2 touchdowns,
Damn.
Bounce back week.
Oh, daggum, let me go back to bold predictions.
Bounce to the back.
2 TDs.
Oh, I was doing a test on this little notepad I think when I got here for matchups, and I had a CEH for president. I gotta erase that out of there.
Golly.
All right, you said Aaron Jones.
Aaron
2
Jones,
touchdowns?
2 touchdowns. He had 2 touchdowns in week 2. They're playing New England. New England on their backup quarterback. I think this is going to be a Green Bay dominant game, and I think Aaron Jones is the guy.
Okay.
Jay Willie with 2 touchdowns.
Don't you be talking about that.
Oh, you
20
know, Jamal Williams, former Green Bay running
Yeah,
back.
plus 20 fantasy points.
See, I was sitting here
20
thinking.
Oh no, I'm about to say if you say 20 plus, that means
2
the 2
TDs
touchdowns
and-
don't count.
And over
Wait a
20.
That means he has to have.
Would you be bold enough
I'm bold.
to say that he has a better week than Saquon?
Yes.
Oh.
That's the Chicago defense.
Oh, never mind. I didn't see the matchup. Let me retract that one.
All right, you
Okay.
said 20 plus fantasy points and 2 TDs.
But I think it'll be
Yes.
close.
Hey, we
I
know
think
how
it'll be
my bold
close.
predictions go.
Wrong.
Wrong. Sorry. Well, I didn't mean to.
All right, what was the other one? We
I
had-
still feel confident.
Aaron Jones,
I'm
2
gonna keep
touchdowns.
going.
Jamal Williams, 2 touchdowns, 20
Okay,
fantasy
all right.
points.
20 plus.
20 plus.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got you.
I don't want to
20
call it
20 plus. 20 plus. I'm
I
going to
got
add that. What do y'all think about CD Lamb? I don't know. Right now, going forward, I don't know. I've always been
Had a
I
good
don't
iffy
game
know.
on
last
CD
week,
Lamb.
but the good news is they almost thought Dak could play this week.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
I
saying
think Dak's holding out this week. He's coming back
Yeah.
next week.
Jared Jones let him
Gallup,
play last week.
Gallup's coming back this week.
Gallup's
I think when
coming
Gallup gets fully healthy, CeeDee Lamb I think he'll get.
well, he opens
Better.
the field.
Yeah,
up.
I don't think it hurts CD Lamb like people were saying when Gallup comes back, but I think it's going to kill
I think
Noah-
Gallup's going to take
Noah
some
Brown and
targets.
Pharaoh
Yeah.
Cooper and
Yeah.
all those other guys. That
I
had-
think CD Lamb's value is at the lowest it might be on the season. If
Yeah.
you're ever going to send a trade for CD, I would do it now
Yeah.
because I think as soon as Dak comes back and Gallup back in, I think his value skyrockets.
But is
But
it,
also,
is it too
Tyler
early
listening
in
to
the
this
season?
podcast, hearing this, is not going to accept any of those trades, so you might as well just try and trade for
I was
him.
about to say, I feel like CD Lamb, it's early enough in the season that
Maybe Tyler's
Tyler's thinking his value's the same as it was before just because we're close enough to where he
Dak's
takes-
going to be the one that
I
benefits
wonder
most
if
of
Tyler,
us.
how he feels about his running backs.
Call him
Aaron
up.
Jones, Damian Pierce, and
Etienne.
Travis Etienne.
Travis Etienne, yeah.
I feel like that's where if I was going to offer him a trade, that would be clearly where
He
I would
needs
land.
to take ETN out of his flex position.
So you're
for this
saying
week.
he could have
Put
had
Devin
a-
Singletary.
I like
I would.
Singletary.
I do too. I like Singletary
He's like
too.
75% of snaps or more.
I know.
For a running
Talked
back,
about
that's
it
a
earlier.
lot.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
I even think Judy back in.
And
the lineup
Philly's
would be
defense is
horrible.
legit.
Philly's D is very good.
Phillies, yeah.
I might even start Michael Pittman against a horrible, or Michael Pittman.
I would
Michael
start
I'd
Carter.
start
man.
Michael
Sorry.
Pittman against the
I
third
saw
running
Pitt.
back.
I saw Pittsburgh matchup with Michael Carter.
Would you?
Oh, God, yeah.
No, that ain't right.
Don't take offense to it, Ryan. I know, but still, I would do
No,
it.
you're the fence. The defense.
Jake calls him
The big D.
The big
Big D.
Fence.
I mean, outside of that, I got my bold prediction.
Oh,
Josh
man.
Palmer's playing with Keenan Allen on the shelf once more.
Yeah, what the hell, Ron?
What?
They're
Keenan
like,
Allen?
oh yeah, he's gonna play this week.
He got pulled up in practice, I think, on Wednesday, and went off with a trainer, and they said, out of the abundance of caution, we're going to pull him out, hold him out another week. So, sorry, but
You know what's going to happen after
hey,
this. He's gonna
I
get
told
hurt
you
in
last
practice.
week he wasn't playing, and you didn't believe me.
I
Y'all
heard him say
laughed
it.
at
I heard
me.
him say it. All right, Brian, who you taking in Goblins versus
Hold
Coulter
on a
versus-
second, I
Oh.
got a bold prediction.
Well, then
Gotta
let's
talk
hear
about
it.
a
You
tight
talking
end.
about Keenan Allen like
Kyle Pitts 60 yards and a touchdown.
No.
We're going to have Kyle Pitts get a touchdown on these bold
I
predictions until it
spelled
happens.
Kyle wrong.
Now, that's one of the easier ones to spell.
I spelled it Clow. Kyle Pitts
Y'all remember him?
with what did you say? 60 yards
60
and
and
a
a
touchdown.
touchdown.
60 yards and a touchdown.
Damn.
All
He's a
right.
touchdown machine.
Well, we all got bold predictions in this matchup.
Look at that.
Brian, who you taking?
I'm going last.
Why are you going last?
Because I
can't
know
go
that y'all were
last. This is
basing
matchup.
y'all.
I have to go last. It's my
All right,
matchup.
I'll go right before you.
Okay. Jake.
Well, then why does he get the advantage of knowing your pick?
It's just his matchup. When your matchup
Yes.
comes up, you'll
Well,
have
I'm
the
going
advantage.
JT.
But you're the best picker.
Pick, 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 pick.
Ryan? Ryan?
Give me the big guy. JT. Big guy of the matchup. Big guy of the table, still the big guy.
The big D, as Jake calls him.
All right.
Hey! Brian, who you taking?
You always do it all the time.
It's good
You-
advertisement for you.
JT.
It's good advertisement for you, though.
They all
If
already
any
know.
ladies are listening.
They already know.
I'm taking the Coulter personality as well. Michael, also Coulter personality. Clean sweep it up.
Clean sweeping.
Clean sweeps.
All right, Texas 2.
Matchup number 2.
Matchup
Texas
number 2. Takes us to.
Oh,
It takes two
To make
to
it
take
big
me
dog
and
bag?
you.
We have the Scorpion King versus Victim of the System.
Well, I thought that was matchup of the week.
no, thank
We
God
pivoted.
it's
We
not.
pivoted.
We can't pivot.
Victim of the System, Richard projection 119 to Scorpion King's live projection of 132. T. Higgins with 21.9 on Thursday night.
Yes.
A healthy Dalvin Cook now?
Brian's got
Healthy.
Healthier.
He dislocated his shoulder last week.
Healthier.
He's
He
got
just
that
dislocates his
new
shoulder all the time. He does
main
the device
device.
machine thing that he wore last year when he went
Yeah.
off.
So
Dalvin
apparently
Cook.
this makes him like a better running back when they put this.
They can rebuild him. They have the technology.
Dalvin
He
Cook's
is the
good to
$6
miss
million
2
man.
games, at least 2 games this season.
That's why Madison is the only player that usually gets drafted in fantasy leagues that doesn't play more than 4 games a season.
Talking about James or Alexander?
Alexander.
Okay.
Yep. It's a true story.
We don't talk about James Madison after what they did last
What about
week.
Alexander?
Man, don't even.
Do you know what they did last week?
I do know what they did last week.
What did they do last week?
The whole Lizzo thing?
James Madison?
Yeah.
They beat App.
I'm talking about James Madison, the actual president.
Oh, no, don't care about him.
He wrote the Constitution.
Yeah, it's pretty
Don't
important.
give a
Bill of
shit. They
Rights.
come out on top either way.
Pretty good piece of paper there, huh?
Oh, we got an anti-constitute over here?
I might be.
You want to make changes to it?
I might want to.
We got to move on from this conversation.
Hey! Start of the week for Scorp. Khalil Herbert. Agree?
Man,
Disagree.
But
I
that's the easy
still
one.
think he's still very talented. Fits that offense very well. And
We
catches
also
the
need to
Giants.
understand going into this that Dawson Knox and Herbert probably not going to be in that lineup tomorrow.
Going Clyde? Or not
No, that
Clyde.
trade's
Going
not
going
trade.
Patterson?
Patterson will be in his flex,
I don't think so.
and Kittle's going to be in starting position.
I don't think so. I think he's going to bench Patterson.
Bold prediction.
On Scorp's lineup. Okay.
Patterson's going to be in his lineup tomorrow.
Patterson.
Is that bold? Okay.
Apparently, I didn't
I
think it
think
was.
so. I think so because I don't think he's switching from Khalil Herbert.
I think if he's smart, he will, and he's
You
a
know
smart
who I
man.
would bench?
So you're saying start Patterson?
Najee
over Herbert?
Harris.
Yeah.
That's who you would bench.
I swear to God, I would.
You better not.
You
He
better
don't
not
like
do it.
those things.
9.6, 11.4, 11.6.
Scorp sent me a trade last week that had Deontay Johnson in it. I said, I don't want any part of that Pittsburgh offense.
No.
He's got 2 pieces of it.
Neither does the rest of the NFL.
I'm serious. Until they show me something else, I would start Pat Fryer, but I
I
wouldn't.
got him on my bench.
He's on your bench.
I agree with you, Ryan.
Benches be scoring.
Mine does.
Oh, well,
Or
I don't think-
He will have Kittle in his lineup.
I think
Kill.
Herbert with no competition on carries and a lot of checkdowns that come to him anyways, he would be in my lineup. If Dalvin's healthy, you don't take him out.
He's there's no tag next
Yeah.
to him.
There's no tag.
No, there's no tag.
But he's
And
also playing
you
in
don't,
New
you
Orleans.
don't put a guy who we just said was a
In
top
London.
5 running back right now on the bench, in my opinion.
I do it all the time.
Yeah, well,
So I bench Patterson and Cooper all
I
the
don't
time.
know.
They've been pretty
Who
good.
would you bench? Ron?
Me, I'd bench Najee, which that's just goes without saying. I don't.
But
I don't
draft
like that.
capital, gentlemen. Draft
Who would you
capital.
bench?
So
Ooh. I don't think he's even bench
I would
anybody.
probably,
He
I
put
probably
Patterson
would
on the
bench Patterson.
You can.
Patterson, who you
Playing
bench?
Tampa.
I already said I'd take out Herbert and put Patterson in flex.
Patterson's playing Tampa. I thought they were playing
Oh,
Cleveland.
sorry, I read that wrong. Playing Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cleveland
still-
without Clowney,
No
without
Myles
Myles
Garrett.
Garrett.
Yeah, both ends are out.
Yeah.
Who's Pittsburgh playing? The
The
Jets.
Jets.
I don't know. He's got favorite. I'd take out Dalvin
Yeah, I mean Dalvin.
That might not be a bad thing.
because
I mean,
Logan
with-
Listen, I don't think Dalvin's
Playing
going to
New
meet
Orleans
that
in
projection.
London.
this week.
Patterson had a good week
I don't
against
think
him.
Dalvin's going to meet that projection.
But yet again, if Dalvin has a good week, you're going to kick yourself.
I know, you
if
start your studs,
bench
you
your-
so-
do got to start your studs.
I probably just stick my lineup as is if I'm
You
scoring.
see what this is, boys?
What's this?
Brought in a Trojan horse into Scorp's team. He's got too many good options. He's
that
overthinking it.
will
He's
screw up the
overthinking
team.
It'll do it. So if you only have 5 guys to start and you got 5 spots, it's easy.
Yeah.
Odysseus over here.
You know who else
bastard.
made their way
You
to
wait
the
till
lineup?
I fight that Cyclops.
Paul
John
Phoenix.
Goodman.
Yeah, Big Dan T.
I'm getting Big Dan. His mom says,
Watch that this week. What's up?
Good.
Love it.
Olave in Bryan's lineup as he said he would be.
I'm not a liar here. I
Olave.
don't lie to you.
I got a question for you, Bryan.
Yeah, I'll give you an answer.
What do you feel on Mike Williams? He had a good week too.
His leg? What you feel?
Nah, I don't know. Mike Williams,
It's a roller coaster ride I've got to deal with.
Okay, because I kind of consider Mike Williams to be like, this could be the year that he like takes like number 1 role, number 1 receiver in that offense. And I'm not saying that it still can't happen because, I mean, even last week, I mean, he
feel
had,
like
he had
he's too
8
much-
points, which ain't terrible, but it did come pretty much
I
all
feel
from
like
a
he's too
touchdown.
much
Yeah.
big play kind of guy. Like, he has to have the big shot for him to be.
He's a fancier
Yeah.
Ginn.
Well, I was going to say like a bigger version of
It
DJ.
pisses me
Back in the
off
day, like,
that they drafted him at 7th overall in the NFL draft, and then they haven't used him as a number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah.
If you're drafting a guy that high, you should be using him like Tampa Bay uses Mike Evans. If you want a big, strong, contested catch guy,
He gets
Handsome,
hurt when he's
too.
that
and
guy.
they don't do it because he comes down and gets hurt on his shoulder or whatever like that, and he gets no separation.
Apparently
so the
all
only
year.
catches he can make are the contested catches because he's not a great route runner. So all of his catches
That's
are
why
contested.
Keenan Allen always.
That's why Keenan Allen gets more targets because he gets open.
Yeah.
I got another question.
And I didn't want Mike Williams to get $20 million a year, but they gave it to him anyways.
You might as well go ahead with it.
Do you regret going like running back heavy early in the draft?
Yeah, I
know
hated it. I hated it when
I
I
know
was
it's
doing
kind of
it. I
what
didn't have a
came to
choice.
you.
Yeah,
I know it's
didn't
kind of
have a
what
choice.
came to you. Yeah.
If Fournette's staring me in the face in the 3rd round, I got to take him.
I-
Now, I screwed up with Kamara in the 2nd.
Yes.
Okay.
I shouldn't have taken Kamara in the 2nd.
I just feel like it kind of handcuffs you a little bit just in terms
It
of that
does.
roster construction.
But everybody else went wide receiver.
I know,
heavy,
so
I
you get
have to
zigged
play.
when
yeah.
everybody else
I
zags.
have
And
to-
everybody was going running back heavy or wide receiver heavy, so Ryan went quarterback and tight end.
Right.
Done that
You
before.
gotta
Didn't
switch.
work.
But I mean, I'm going to stick with it.
Got to.
You know,
Got
It's hard
stick
to
with
trade.
it.
But picking up Olave, same reason that I was talking about me picking up rookie wide receivers that could blow up in the second half of the season. He's got.
Oh yeah, I'm
Do
good.
you
I'm
care
happy
who's
with
quarterback
Olave.
there?
Huh?
Do you care who's quarterback there?
What in New Orleans?
Here's-
no,
so
because
here's-
Jameis Winston's blind as a bat.
Yeah,
But he throws the ball
it
downfield.
He does.
Like,
He
that's
does.
the one thing Jameis is going to do. He's going to F it and chuck it.
Now,
Right.
does LASIK help when he just closes his eyes and throws it?
Apparently
anyways?
not, because I came in saying that he was going to win.
But he closes his
MVP.
eyes when he throws it downfield, so it doesn't matter if he can see at them or
That's
not.
true.
They're closed. Stevie
That's
Wonder. Stevie Wonder, if he throws a good pass enough,
Hey.
he's not going to see this.
Hey, everybody. Oh.
Ooh. You know what, though? That's fair.
It's
I mean,
fair.
it's not like we're saying something's not true.
All right, Ron, who you taking in this matchup?
Stevie. Oh, yeah. Fantasy mouse. Give me the victim.
Oh, taking victim of the system.
Yes. Oh, guys, we didn't think about it.
What?
Now that I'm looking at this avatar picture of Scorpion King, it does look like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat is sitting on some type of throne. Is he the Scorpion King?
No.
It's something that we don't know about.
No.
I'm intrigued.
Okay.
If nothing else, good job, Scorp.
Jake, who you taking?
Take him, Bryan.
I wonder what his starting lineup will be after the trade is processed.
Kittle in for Dawson Knox.
Yes, but is any of the other running backs changed?
I think you can guarantee Kittle for Knox, and then after that, you're just going to make a judgment.
I'm going to go, because Bryan won't pick himself, I'm going to go Scorpion King. I'm copying Bryan's picks.
Ooh, he's anticipating moves over here now. All right, JT, who you got,
You
bud?
better be pissed off.
I'm going to take Scorp as well. T. Higgins got him off to a good start.
Who Trick taking?
Mhm.
So he took Scorp as well. Yeah, I mean, I think he'll have a solid week.
I'm spinning.
It's 132. I think somewhat accurate for his projection. So, yeah, give me Scorp. All right, Brian.
I'm going to take me.
Taking the
not
big
matchup.
guy.
Not matchup of the week.
I know,
We're all excited.
It's bullshit.
I don't think Dalvin Cook's going to be his projection. I think Najee Harris will stay in his lineup. I think Cordero Patterson's going to have a good week, and I think Pat Mahomes is not going to have
He is who we thought he was.
at 24 points.
That's primetime Pat, though. You better watch out for
It
that
is.
fella.
It is.
Against
It
Tampa, a little Super Bowl
Against
And
rebound.
Pat
Tommy.
Mahomes does against other good quarterbacks. He does shine. So he's either going to go for 30 or 20.
Nothing in between.
Nothing in between.
Can I write that down?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Right.
All right, so we have 3 in favor of Scorp, 2 in favor of Brian, which takes us to our third matchup.
Third matchup.
Jake v. Broach.
Jake
The Broach.
So we have the turd sandwiches, original projection, or excuse me, live projection 112. We have Lamar's Chubby, which is Broach's team, with a original and live projection of 124.
That's a big projection.
Jake had 10 points from
Jamar Chase.
Jamar
Jamar
Chase,
Chase.
who he's not excited about.
First rounder.
Yeah. Not really breaking out the way I hoped.
Week 1 looked good.
They're all over him, man.
He only got 4 catches, and one of them I think was thrown by another wide receiver.
It doesn't help that he's being double covered. It also doesn't help that their offensive line sucks camel dick.
Also doesn't help the T. Higgins' help.
Tee.
But see, I was
That
hoping
game they had-
it would help. I was hoping that it would be less double coverage.
Tee.
Well, they ran on Thursday night
You
the
all
same
right?
type of defense that Belichick does all the time. Puts the number 1
Yep.
corner on the number 2 wide
Yep.
receiver,
Yep.
and puts the number 2 corner with safety over top
Yep.
all the time on Jamar Chase,
Also puts a lotion on his skin.
and puts it in the basket, or else it gets the hose again. But yeah, T. Higgins was just beating that one-on-one coverage the entire game.
Yep.
And
Jamar Chase just
When you have both of them in the lineup, T. Higgins has actually outscored Jamar Chase when they're both on the field. I did not know that until this week.
T. Higgins is a stud.
Where'd he go to college?
Higgins?
I know, Clemson. You have no idea.
He was gonna say
Did you
Alabama.
know?
No, he's going to say Alabama. We've already done this one on the.
It's Alabama or
I was
Ohio
actually
State.
going to say South Carolina.
You know
Well, you
what?
was
That
right
would have been an okay.
South Carolina was Brian Edwards, who the Raiders drafted.
Sidney Rice.
And also Sidney Rice, yes.
Throwback.
And?
He went there too?
Yeah. And?
I do not know. Who?
Darius Thornwell.
Who's Sedarius
Play
Thornwell?
on their basketball team.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Ron.
They went to the Final Four.
Yeah, beat Duke.
Lamar Jackson versus Buffalo, projected at 28 points. Buffalo
gonna get that
probably has the
28.
best defense in the league. Can we
He ain't
agree
gonna
on
get that
that? Do we agree? Do we
Yes.
disagree? We
I-
agree.
Now, how windy is it going to be? They've got a little red cloud beside that game, and I don't know what it means.
It says wind speed
Forecast.
0.
Rain with a high of 58 degrees and a low of 49. There's a 56 chance. Oh, so that's not even wind.
They
That's just weather.
didn't put in wind. Sometimes they don't do that until game day,
Until it starts blowing.
I guess. But
Sure.
does he score 28?
No.
That's 28 probably is the highest projection of a quarterback.
And you can still outscore my quarterbacks.
He can outscore Jake's quarterback
For 2 weeks.
for 2 weeks.
Russell Wilson.
You can combine them and they still ain't going to equal.
Lamar Jackson on the season is the number 1 rated player with 2 weeks back-to-back of 47 plus.
Yep.
That'll do it.
I'll take the over on Lamar Jackson with 28. His rushing ability is unmatched. Closest probably Jalen Hurts, but doesn't have, I don't think, the breakaway speed Lamar does.
How many rushing yards? He had over 100 twice this year already.
Lamar
He had
Jackson,
107
yep,
last week, and
119 in week 2.
119 week 2.
Touchdowns in both games.
Yep.
Rushing. So, yeah, give me Lamar the over there. A.J. Brown is back with the team. There was a little talk that he might not play this week because apparently he had a kid. So, it wasn't there.
Good for
Yeah, a
him.
little inside information right here.
Congratulations, that is good inside information.
Good information. But he is back at practice Friday. We'll play this weekend. Boom, you got it.
Boom, roasted.
Allen Robinson's still in the lineup, though.
He is.
Yep.
I think it's
What was that?
well, I'm looking down here at the
Yeah.
bottom. It's his running back matchups. I think Lamar plus his 2 running backs have really good matchups this week.
If he wins this week, it's because of his running.
Those 3.
He's got T.J. Hawkinson in his flex, but they have no DeAndre Swift, no Amon-Ra St. Brown. That might not be a bad play.
Yeah.
It might be a pretty good play, actually.
Might be a wonderful play. if you
I
think
picked up
about
that other receiver.
I'm just going to say Hawkinson, 55
Reynolds.
yards and a touchdown.
it. Hmm.
Which he don't.
I'll give him 60 yards, no touchdown.
I say Tyler Lockett outscores him.
Well, he probably should.
Are we writing down all these?
No, that's not.
No,
He's
mine's the
protected
actual
there.
thing. I think everybody's just going off of mine.
No. I'm legit. 16, no touchdown.
Is that bold?
Mhm.
That's not bold.
I think it's bold.
60, no touchdown? No, that's not bold.
Well, fuck you too.
Not bold. Not bold. That's mild at
Man,
best.
fuck you.
That's fair.
Christian Kirk, how you feel about him, Jake? He has been a bright spot on your team. One of your later draft picks,
Yep.
or kind of maybe mid to late
Yep.
draft picks. Paid a lot of money in the offseason, and, well, they're throwing the football.
He's
I think it determines who Slay follows around. Darius Slay has been very good.
Slay's a stud.
He's been taking people out of the equation. So the only thing that I think helps me a little bit is that Kirk's been in the slot a lot more. So he might be on Zay Jones or Marvin Jones Jr. on the outside, which might keep.
Well, he
Christian
followed
Kirk-
around Justin Jefferson the other
in the
week
slot.
2 and shut him down.
I know.
So.
That's yes.
Mr. Roberts.
Have you thought about taking Tyler Lockett out of your lineup and putting Harris in?
Nope.
I would.
Well, I think Detroit gives up a lot of points.
I understand. I think Harris has more
I don't
points
know.
than
Would he
Lockett
take
this
out
week.
Harris? I mean, would he take out Lockett or would he take out Elliott first?
He ain't taking out Elliott. This man loves Ezekiel
That's
Elliott.
his ride or die.
No, the only reason that I'm not taking out Lockett is because Detroit. I feel like every week is like 30 points on both sides. Like they've been pretty routinely a
I
high
think they
score.
might slow it down a little bit this week with 2 of their best playmakers out. I just thought.
That
I
offense
think you
is,
change your identity.
has been their offense so far this
Yeah,
year.
but
It's
this
been Swift and
Yeah.
St. Brown. Are they going to still lean on Jamal Williams, try to slow it down? We don't know.
I don't know.
We don't know.
The only thing with Harris is Green Bay's been really good this year against the run.
Yep.
And
Backup quarterback,
Yep, and
stack box.
you talked about
Ramondre Stevenson take over?
If Stevenson's
And-
getting the carries, I don't trust it. The guy that I might put in there is actually the guy I picked up with Reynolds. If he is getting the St. Brown looks good.
He's questionable too.
He
got
is
going on?
questionable. It said he was back to limited practice to close out the week. He had 96 yards on 10 targets last week.
Yep.
So I like those numbers
bad.
for a
Ain't
guy without St. Brown.
Back-to-back limited practices.
I gotta go in early.
Bye, Bryan. Hey, text us the rest of your picks. If you don't mind.
Well, hold on. Make a pick right here. Make a pick right here. Jake v.
Pick right
Broach.
I'm going Broach this week.
Bryan going Broach. All right. Well, buddy, I hate that we're gonna miss you, man.
I mean,
I don't hate that we're going to miss you. I'm
Well, I don't hate that we're gonna miss you, but
I hate that.
I hate you guys.
Give me Bryan.
Ooh. And then just text me the matchup of the week one.
That's it, isn't it?
Nope.
match for the
The
week.
match for the week.
That's much. Oh, huh?
Text me.
Yeah. I'll take 7.
Okay.
Oh, I got another bold prediction for this.
Let's
one.
hear it.
I think Brady outscores Mahomes, which he hasn't done. I don't think this year
Mahomes?
yet.
Oh,
In that game.
Okay. Jake, I like
That's
Brees Hall.
Yeah, he's the one that I've been contemplating moving in as well. Pittsburgh terrible against the run defense. I think that was like a 5-star matchup for him.
Yeah.
That's the only one I could see putting in.
The
for Lockett,
only
but-
issue is I don't know which of the running backs to move out, just because I like Kareem Hunt maybe with the opportunity to score against Atlanta and Zeke against the Commanders as well. So it's It's
Yeah.
a tough situation.
Commanders. I keep forgetting that.
Thanks, man.
We are Commanders. Bum, ba, bum, bum, bum.
They little babies. Is it?
Brian's leaving everybody, so we gotta,
Brian
we
is
gotta
leaving
dap the man
everybody.
up.
He's leaving everybody.
Hey.
All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into picks. Brian went ahead and chose Broach in this. He's got a thing for Lamar's Chubby, apparently. Give me Broach as well. And Jack, that's not an indictment on your team. It's just
It is.
Lamar
It's not-
Jackson's
it's not as
been
good as
really
the people you're
good.
playing.
Yeah, I'm not very good.
Nick Chubb, leading rusher. AJ Brown is good. So I'm taking Broach.
I'm taking Broach.
Ryan's taking Broach as well.
Who'd Michael take?
Michael took
I think Michael.
Broach. All right, what you gonna do there, Slick?
What you gonna do with all that picks? All that picks inside the matchup.
Oh, deep contemplation.
No, I just looked at my matchups through the first 3 weeks. I have faced 1 through 3.
Yeah.
Sucks to be on that end.
Yeah. So it's been bad matchups, but I'm still taking Broach.
Okay.
Clean sweep
Yeah,
on
even 0-4.
Broach. Jack, I've been there, man.
You come out of that though.
It's tough.
It's dark.
It's tough. It's a,
You don't look
I'm in a
forward
dark
to
place.
Sundays.
I routinely just leave my phone. Now, last week I just went outside and started trimming hedges because I didn't want to watch football because my fantasy team sucked so bad. Didn't even know the Panthers were winning because I didn't think that was a possibility.
Neither did they.
All right, that takes us to matchup 4, which is our kind of co-matchup of the week because this is the 1v2 matchup.
1v2.
We have 2 undefeated teams. Only one of them's going to be undefeated after this week.
Possibly.
This is the bad matchup week of Jordan Powell with a live projection of 110 versus the fantasy phenoms of Mr. Ryan Robertson with a live projection of 136. Both teams had players go on Thursday night. Joe Burrow 24 and Jalen Waddle 4.9 for the This is the bad matchup week. What a name! What a name! And Ryan had a plundering
Goodness gracious.
15.4 solid from Joe Mixon, averaging a solid 2.6 yards per carry
He
on the
was
season.
getting so many carries, and the defensive line was in the backfield on about 80%.
Oh, yeah.
It was ridiculous. Like, I think he got 5 or 6 carries inside the 5
I think he had 7.
and scored once. And the one that he scored, if the offensive line wouldn't have got behind him and just like
Pushed him
in, they wouldn't have got it. Like, hey guys, how about y'all push in front of him instead of having to get behind him and push? Like, be a whole lot easier on him.
You worried about Joe Mixon?
No, he's getting 20 plus carries every single week. I'm all right
Opportunities
with it.
there. Opportunities
Yeah.
there.
Like, and it's new 4 out of 5 new offensive linemen. Maybe it takes time to gel and start working together. I don't know, but yeah, as long as he's getting that many carries, if you've looked, there's not been many bell cow running backs in the league this year.
There's a handful.
Yeah, I mean, you got Mixon, Henry, Harris, Barkley. I might be done.
I'd like to see Chubb, but again,
Chubb
they
and
spell
Hunt.
Hunt quite a bit.
Jones and Dillon. I mean, like, there's not a ton of just straight bell cows. He's getting 20 plus carries a week. That offense is going to figure it out. I'm going to be all right.
Yeah, it is a little tough there. But Joe Mixon, again, 15.4. His projection was 16.8, so pretty solid, right around it.
Yeah.
Oh, I was wrong. Lamar Jackson doesn't have the highest projected quarterback
Yeah,
output. It's Josh Allen
Same
with
as on
4 more points.
It's
than
on the
Lamar
other side of that ball.
Jeez, 32 points projected for Josh Allen. Does he live up to it, Jake?
Do you want to save it for this game? Daily fantasy. Might want to load up on this game.
I think Baltimore. I think they'll still score, but I don't know how much. Like I do think Buffalo's defense
I'm just
is
saying,
that
like
good.
Lamar and Mark Andrews might be a decent one. And then,
Yeah.
Give me a combined 55 total points for this game.
Is that a bold projection? I think the over/under is like 53 or 54.
Yeah, you want to point
I
out.
mean, you can look at it, but
Big guns.
I don't know what Vegas does.
they gamble.
Okay, fine. That's not bold enough. Okay, well,
I'm looking it up.
let me
I'll see.
dig in and I'll find you a bold prediction. Here's my bold prediction.
Yeah, those words are tough. Over/under 51,
I said 55.
which is one of the
Okay.
highest of the league.
Yeah, that's not bold. All right, give me
I
a.
can say that though.
Okay.
You can still be wrong, but I can say it.
Where's my bold prediction going to come from? This one's tough. Because both teams look projected about what I expect them to get. I'll keep thinking on that, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh man, JT's pondering. like Christian.
Christian Ponder.
Yes, college.
So James Robinson makes it in the lineup for.
Come on, man. Hot wife. Oh.
Samantha Ponder. NFL. She's never mind.
Who? Who am I even guessing?
Christian Ponder. And he said hot wife. Samantha Ponder does NFL
Who's she?
commentary. She does NFL commentary.
Who?
She did it for ESPN or Fox.
I don't watch ESPN.
All right, what college did Christian Ponder go to? I think he also played baseball.
Well, Jake's making a Native American sound. Is that proper verbiage?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know.
And it was a sound.
What are you
All
into?
right. Let's see. He didn't play for the Redskins.
Well, he had no shit this summer.
You got a finger mustache.
Dude, I don't know. Give me who is an Indian?
There's only like 4. You
I
got,
wanna say-
you got Pembroke.
No, he didn't go there. I want to say Florida State.
Good. Good.
Hey! First one of the season, ladies and gentlemen. Boom, there we go. On the board, I'm back. Austin Eckler, 15.4. Austin Eckler's not put up that this season.
He ain't getting there.
Worried?
Oh,
Ryan?
absolutely worried, buddy.
For Austin Eckler?
I talked about it a little bit last week.
Would you trade for him right now?
No.
Last week,
I
last
just got
year,
offered to trade for him, so thank God y'all told me
Yeah.
that.
last
I didn't
year
like
ended up being
the
the RB2 or RB3 on the season.
Yeah.
He scored 20 times. He's not getting used in the red zone at all. It's been Sony Michel and Josh Kelly
Yeah.
all year. If he's not scoring,
His value.
And-
He's boring
well, he's
on
not.
your fantasy team.
He's also been inefficient. I think he's like bottom of the league in yards per catch and yards per rush, and he's not getting used in the red zone. It's looking bleak.
Yeah, no touchdowns. Hasn't had a game rushing over 39 yards.
All right,
Has had some decent receiving numbers, but nothing over 55
decent
yards.
receiving numbers have been when they were down against Kansas
Mhm.
City, and they were down last week a lot by Jacksonville. And both of those games, Keenan Allen wasn't in there. Where do you think this offense was supposed to be prolific, deep? Where do you think they rank in explosive plays of over, I think, 20 yards on the season?
29.
31st.
32nd. Dead last.
Damn.
I
Dude,
had to-
Chargers
Dead
suck.
last, buddy. They've been tough
I
to
need to
watch.
get rid of Keenan Allen. I might just drop him.
Might as well.
Well, he was the big play guys until he went out. It's your
Dude,
fault.
he was like,
Put him on the field.
hey,
Put him on the field.
what I tell you, every
Put him on
time
the
I
field.
draft him, he gets hurt in week 1.
Yeah, well,
And then you apparently
Yeah.
were sitting too close to me on draft night and just went over to you.
Yeah.
You
No,
ruined
you're the
it.
blitz.
You ruined it. You messing all up for me, Rabbit.
Question, Ryan, what's your lineup going to look like? By the way, I'm going to have to push that trade through because,
Yeah.
I mean, if you ain't vetoed by now, you ain't. It
If
don't
you ain't vetoing, you ain't going to do it.
I mean, all it takes is a quick look. Am I vetoing this? Is it outrageous? If it's not outrageous, then boom.
Now, hey, hold on a second.
So I'm
boys.
pushing
If
through
you do-
tomorrow
If you
morning.
do want to veto it,
Do it.
do it now so I can. send another
Ryan
trade to
vetoed his
somebody
own trade.
else. I didn't. I thought about doing it, but I was like, no, I'm not going to be that guy because I'm the one
No,
that
don't
proposed
be
the
that
trade to
guy.
begin with.
Yeah, so what's your lineup going to look like, Ryan?
Nothing's going to change
Well.
except for the tight end and the flex.
Gerald Everett going into the tight end slot.
Gerald Everett will be my tight end.
And CEH.
I don't know if I'm going to go CEH.
Dang,
or,
traded for the man, Jake. You hear this? He traded for the man because he really wanted the man. And then they ain't going to put him in his lineup.
But
That's
they are playing
crazy.
Tampa Bay's run defense, which is.
They ain't going to put him in his lineup. Who you going to start? Sonny Michel?
Tell me.
It would either be Sony Michel. I was thinking about Mark Ingram sneakily against Minnesota, but probably not. It'll probably be
CEH.
it's probably CEH.
Okay.
Actually, CEH or Traylon Burks.
It'll be CEH. Calling it now.
We don't know.
Calling
He's
it
got
now.
a hold of me, man. I might bench.
Last thing
What are you doing?
on Jordan's team before we table this thing a little bit. He took 2 tight ends early,
It's worked.
and he's trying to get rid of one of them. He's trying to get rid of one of 2. He sent trades. I know for.
I don't think he's married to either one because
He's-
he has sent both of them in trades.
trades.
separate
Such
trades.
high value too.
They do. But I don't think he likes the restrictedness
So-
on his roster. Because when you roster 2 tight ends,
We
elite
talked
tight
about it,
ends,
man. It's-
it does like.
But I said it when you weren't here last week. If you have multiple tight ends that are good or multiple quarterbacks that are good, it's so hard to get
Yeah.
equal value in a trade because they are one-off positions where
Yeah. So the
If
rest
I-
of the league looks
yeah,
at that
if
like
I'm
we're just
trading-
trying
if
to.
he's
That's
got-
what I
if
felt
he's
with
got 2
Kelsey.
tight ends, I'm going to want to trade one of my tight ends back because I'm not going to want to roster
Right,
2
yeah,
or 3 tight
yeah.
ends.
So that's what I looked at when he had offered me Kelsey, which I told him was a good trade. Still believe it was a good trade, but I wanted to unload Zach Ertz because I was like, well, I mean, Ertz is third. And I wouldn't mind doing pick up a position of his as well.
Mhm.
So if he's taking 2 of my starters, I would want some form of another starter. of his.
Compensation.
It's so much easier to trade for running backs and wide receivers because you can start so many of each of them that you can mix and match, or you can trade one for one. While you're trading for quarterbacks and tight ends and not getting a quarterback or tight end in return, it's tough.
Yeah, especially with tight ends with high draft capital and with high perceived value and with high actual value.
Yeah,
It's just hard to trade for them
It's tough.
because you got to give up a lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I mean? All right. Man, I keep trying to think of a bold prediction, but I just can't come up with one. Again, I think this is pretty solid all the way around. Actually, I will take a bold prediction.
BP.
Give me Terry McLaurin for at least 7 catches, at least 100 yards, and at least 1 touchdown.
7+ catches. All right, hold on a second.
It's okay.
You okay, Poppy? You said 70 yards?
100 yards.
100 yards.
7
Good.
catches, 100 yards, touchdown. Terry McLaurin. They're playing Dallas. It's just, I don't know, it just feels right. I ain't really got a good reason for it. Just feels
No,
right.
basically what you're saying is that he's going to be covered by Trayvon Diggs. He's going to have one blown coverage where he goes for a pick, and he's going to get like a 75-yard touchdown, and then all the stuff's going to be underneath.
I mean, that's
Basically what that's.
and I don't think that's too far off.
That's the recipe for Dallas. What you got, big guy?
Nothing.
I was typing.
No.
Okay.
All right, who you taking in this matchup, Ryan?
Oh,
You're last. You're last.
Yeah,
Jake, I'll take. You make up. He's taking Ryan. All right, so Jake takes Ryan. Give me old Rye Dog as well. Bryan took Ryan. Michael took Ryan. Is it going to be a clean sweep, Ryan?
Yeah.
Clean sweep goes to Ryan.
Yeah, I was going to pick Jordon before Thursday night because I was expecting Jalen Waddle just to have a heck of a game.
Look good. He has looked good. That game, not indicative of Jalen Waddle.
Right.
All
Jordan,
right.
I did want to pick you, bud, and I was going to pick you, but that one
Haha.
didn't end up working.
This is going to be the bad matchup week for Jordan. Playing
So.
playing number 1 seed, playing the man with the most fantasy points, that is.
Yes. Tied for most wins.
Tied for most wins.
With
All
a
right.
couple other fellers.
Hey,
3 of them.
tree of them. Hey, but
Tree.
there's at least going to be one team that is not undefeated after this week.
Right. Not necessarily having a loss because we could tie. Not like
Almost impossible. All right, that takes us to our matchup of the week.
Yes, it does.
It is Rans Diddy of Smith Schuster and the Jujus versus Michael of 50 Shades of Trey.
Yeah, that's better.
All right, you know what we do for matchup of the week, right, Jake?
Position by position breakdown.
But you know what we have to do for Michael's team, right, Ron?
We have to add math.
We got
We got to do that.
Well, so
And
now
Brian's not here.
I'm the math guy.
But Brian always picks out.
picks out who it is.
Oh, we're gonna have to.
Well, I guess on my screen I got to show bench players because I haven't been doing that for
True.
Michael. I got to.
All right,
Watch
so
him now.
Michael's starting QB. I'm
It's
gonna
gonna
say
be-
Trevor Lawrence.
I would go Goff,
Without Amon-Ra, without DeAndre Swift, still gonna take.
but would you go Trevor Lawrence against Philly?
Yeah, because they're gonna have to score.
They just
That's
did
fair.
hang up 37 on the Chargers, so I think that's not the issue.
Yeah, without a starting defensive end in their one corner. But yeah, I get.
Nah, they're gonna have to score, so that's why I would take. Lawrence.
sure. Philly's
All right,
better
so
than
what do you
Philly.
say? Either way, give him 21. We'll split the
yeah,
difference.
that's what
Give
I
him
say.
21. All right, does that 21, is that a larger output than Kyler Murray's projected 22? Kyler Murray playing
Against
Carolina.
those studs who shut down New Orleans
I don't
last
know,
week.
man.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
They give up a couple big plays, but they also
Hold
apply
on a second.
pressure in the passing game.
has the
They-
new Call of Duty been released yet?
I don't.
Because they say every year when the new Call of Duty gets released,
That's when Kyler
Kyler just goes downhill.
Well, because he's not watching film and he's playing Call of Duty.
Yeah. He's not really been that good this year.
Kyler Murray on the year. 24, 27, and 13.
Yeah,
he's been
Kyler
pretty
Murray without DeAndre Hopkins is not the same Kyler Murray.
I'm going to take Kyler
He's back in a
Murray
couple weeks.
no matter who Michael chooses.
I'm
Personally.
going to take Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I'd probably take Trevor Lawrence.
Be that way.
Man, be idiots. Man,
All right, so the receivers for Smith, Schuster, and the Jujus are going
is
to be
Gabe Davis gonna play?
well.
Because if he does, he's in.
To Michael's team.
All right, Gabe
Says
Davis
more in line to
says practiced on Friday. It was a limited practice, but should put him in line to play against the Ravens on Sundays.
All right, Jake, give.
I'm playing Sundays. What he came out and
Davis,
said.
Sutton, and I guess Moore.
Yeah, he's
his,
gonna
his
continue.
third
So
receiver.
Davis with 11, Sutton will say 12, and then DJ Moore will say 10.
Yeah.
Okay, are you taking those three receivers of Gabe Davis, Cortland Sutton, DJ Moore over Debo Samuel, Devontae Smith, and Marquise Hollywood Brown? Who are you taking in that matchup?
Hollywood.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Is Smith really back? I mean,
Is Smith really back, and is Gabe Davis gonna stay healthy, and is DJ Moore
2
gonna get more
weeks
than
in a
2
row, pretty
catches?
All good points.
I feel like all right. I'm gonna go. Debo's gonna have 100 total yards
Against the
and 2
Rams?
touchdowns.
Yeah. That's right. 2 touchdowns?
100 total yards and 2
Oh.
touchdowns. So
Yeah,
that
still
could come out of
bold.
the backfield
You're
too.
really bold.
He hasn't had a breakout game yet. He's been good all year, but he hasn't
Yeah,
had a
he's
breakout
been
yet.
been solid.
You know, we made fun of Jordan's team earlier in the year about being kind of stacked on the Commanders bandwagon. But
Yeah.
then you look at Andrew's team, and it's pretty heavily stacked towards the Cardinal team.
Yeah.
It is. You got 3 players in the starting lineup from the Arizona Cardinals.
Which, past couple of years, at the beginning of the season, that's not that bad, but they have.
Towards the end of the season, it is bad.
Yeah, they've underproduced.
Call of Duty comes out.
I know, right?
Whole team just.
I mean, last year
Crash
I
and
had
burn.
Kyler and Chase Edmonds and James Conner at the end of the year.
I think I'm gonna slightly take Rams Diddy's side of this.
It's just receivers have been playing too good lately. Like Smith, 11 to 20, and then Hollywood had a huge week.
How many
last
targets have happened?
Hollywood's been
last week?
have been solid each
Yeah.
week.
Hollywood had 11 targets week 2, 17 targets week 3 with 14 catches.
Yeah, it's just hard to bet against those two off the week they had last week. And then
Yeah.
Debo's still solid. Give me that side of the football.
I see what you're saying, and I'm going to go with you on that one.
Okay.
All right, question. Based off of
I'll hear
this,
it.
which college quarterback wide receiver combination in the pros would you want? JT, I know you know these because you know where all these guys went to college.
I do know that Tua and Jalen Waddle went to Alabama.
Tua, Jalen Waddle, Alabama. Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, LSU.
Ohio State. Damn it.
Kyler Murray, Marquise Brown, Oklahoma.
Oh, I never guessed
Or Derek Carr and Devontae Adams,
that.
Fresno
Fresno
State.
State.
Which one of those 4 would you want to invest in as far as if you were building a team
Long-term?
right now? Which ones would you want to
Long
be?
term?
Yeah.
Or like on fantasy, right? Not team wise, fantasy.
Yeah, well, both, but yeah,
I
fantasy.
already forgot who you said.
You got
give me.
Tua and Jalen
I
Waddle.
know that one.
Devontae Adams and Derek Carr.
Okay.
Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase.
I like that one.
Kyler Murray and Marquise Brown.
This
Joe
is
Burrow
what I
and
tried to get
Jamar Chase.
on
Okay.
draft night, but Jordan wouldn't.
They're closer to the same.
But it's crazy how many that like they were top quarterbacks besides Derek Carr in college,
Okay.
and they've got pretty high draft cap on all those wide receivers.
Where did Devontae Smith go to school?
Devontae Smith went to Alabama,
Alabama.
Didn't Jalen Hurts go to Alabama?
but he ended at Oklahoma, so I don't know if they overlapped or not. I can't remember.
I'm
They
starting
had
to be able to tell you people who went to Alabama though.
I think
Yeah, you
well,
are.
it's just basically half the NFL. But I can't
So that
remember.
that
if
doesn't
Jalen
count?
Hurts was- I don't know if they were overlapping as far as passing.
Okay. Because I don't know that I'd still take Burrow Chase.
Just when they're on, that's a tough duo to beat.
Oh yeah. Tua's
did set
got
records
an
in
injury
college,
history, so it'd be
Which, I
hard
mean,
to
Kyler
invest
and
in long
Hollywood
term.
were pretty prolific at Oklahoma.
But when Hop comes back, that'll hurt.
Yeah,
the
that
value
does
of
take off. He's not going to get 17 targets when Hopkins is back.
All right.
Okay,
Back-
just thought I'd ask that
Well,
question. I thought
well,
it was pretty.
I think that's a good question.
Yeah, it's
Pivoting
because
from
he's got both of them.
the Arizona
Pivot.
air attack, we'll go to the ground attack. James Conner and
like-
Christian McCaffrey
I don't
playing
like-
each other. Not at the same time, they're on different sides.
Yeah,
you
of
know.
course.
But James Conner, Christian McCaffrey, and let's give Michael Javante we'll round up to 14.
All right, let's see. What does it say about McCaffrey? Missed practice on Wednesday and Thursday.
He's playing.
Has a chance to play, and he's very hopeful.
He's playing.
They got him
Okay.
projected at 16, so Yahoo seems to think that he's playing.
Okay, listen to this stat at the bottom on Christian McCaffrey. Through week 3, McCaffrey is blank in rushing attempts and blank in rushing yards for running backs.
Man,
What do you
yeah.
think he ranks in the league in rushing attempts?
Rushing attempts,
League wide.
21st.
Okay, Jake?
29th.
9th.
Really?
In rushing attempts.
Doesn't seem that way watching the freaking game.
And rushing yardage, where do you think he ranks?
21st.
Well, if he's ninth, I mean, he's got to be top 15, 14.
5th.
What? It does not seem that way watching the game.
Okay, listen to this. It's
He's still a great
just
player.
carries. Week 1, 10 carries. Week 2, 15 carries. Last week, 25 carries.
Okay.
But his biggest scoring
But
output on the
the
year is
problem with him and the reason
14.8.
why everybody drafted him as high as they did,
Because he's like a
he's
20-point
not
lock.
getting used in the passing game
Yeah, because Baker doesn't check.
because he doesn't check down.
Baker doesn't check. Baker throws bombs.
Baker doesn't check. Zach Wilson hasn't shown the propensity to check, so Michael Carter and Breece Hall might not be getting checked down passes
They
like
better
Joe
either
Flacco
start
did.
rushing with Breece Hall or his value will dramatically.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's what happened every time Zach Wilson was in last year. Like, Michael Carter would look good when
When
Mike White was in
Mike
there.
White!
Yeah.
Couldn't remember his name.
Where'd he go, Coach? Nobody freaking knows. All right, good talk.
Eastern Illinois.
Mike White.
Just-
Eastern Illinois. That's my guess.
Is that Tony Romo?
Yeah, it is.
It's also my Mr. Martini, my chemistry lab professor, was in the same frat as Tony Romo. Both went to Eastern Illinois, except for he's like 30 years older.
Man, you gotta get up real early to come up with.
You don't get that kind of stuff anywhere else.
All right, give Michael Javante with 14, and give him. It's got to be Ramondre Stevenson because that's the only other running back he's got on his entire roster.
Yeah, because I was looking at, like I said, I was looking at trades yesterday because I don't know, I just wanted to make a trade, and I was looking, hey, who's got some wide receivers, and I was trying to count everybody how many wide receivers I had, and I got to Michael's team. I was like, okay, he's got 3 running backs, and I think he had 8 wide receivers. He's got a ton right now.
Yeah, he does. All right, so Jake, McCaffrey, Connor, or
McCaffrey.
Javante, Steve. Okay, I
Stevenson.
like McCaffrey, Connor too.
Yeah.
I think that they both. I think Connor's going to find the end zone. Carolina, I do think they've looked better secondary defense. I know they haven't actually given up a lot of rushing yards since week 1, where Cleveland just ran all over them. Actually, they've been pretty good against the run the last 2 weeks, but they're due to just suck again. So
They suck again.
If James Conner gets, I think he gets 75 yards touchdown. Is that bold for James Conner?
Well, I'm typing in mine.
I'll give it to you. 75 yards rushing or total? Because total, it doesn't make it that bold because he's been around.
Because
that.
I'm talking about how bad Carolina.
Okay.
I've got
Connor.
CMC for 160 total yards and a touchdown.
Oh.
Made my bold look little.
I was typing it out.
100 and what? 60?
160 total yards
Woo!
and a touchdown.
Ryan's going bold.
Only 1 touchdown?
Yeah.
With 160 yards, you kidding me?
All right, you said James Conner for what?
75 rushing yards and a
And a touchdown.
Teddy.
All right.
Yeah, I hate that.
Dude, I said it a bunch last week just so.
I know. I heard it.
I was waiting
Don't
for you
worry.
to.
I heard it. I was almost going to say it earlier, and I said, nah, I ain't gay.
You could have put it in the comment.
Then I said, nah, I ain't gay.
All right, I've got 5 bold predictions. Michael doesn't have any again this week.
I got 2 right now. I got to pick up my
Yeah,
game.
you got 3.
I got 3?
Yeah, you got Aaron Jones 2 touchdowns, Buffalo, Baltimore over 55 points.
Oh, you gave me that one?
Yeah, and then Terry McLaurin 7 catches, 100 yards and a touchdown.
Okay, Buffalo.
Jake's got 2, Bryan had 2.
Yeah, you're slacking this week, JT.
Well, I usually have
Well,
1 or none if I'm right.
I was on fire 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, the
I ain't feeling it
2
this
touchdown week you were on fire. All right, so we're down to what, tight ends?
Why would Andrew
Randall's-
not play Conklin? I just said he was 4th in fantasy tight ends.
Because Jameis Winston ain't playing, so he's thinking
Taysom
that
Hill is
Taysom
technically
Hill's
the backup
gonna
quarterback.
He's not.
gonna see some work.
They've already said
No.
Andy Dalton's
All right, but
playing.
my thing is, Andy Dalton is the backup quarterback, and now he's starting. So Taysom Hill is the
Guys,
backup quarterback.
Y'all are
The
thinking
way
that
that-
Sean Payton's still the coach.
Yeah, but the thing
Sean
with Sean
Payton
Payton,
used Taysom Hill. This guy's not using Taysom Hill
but
in that capacity.
when did Sean Payton stop using Taysom Hill? When Taysom Hill wasn't the 3rd dressed quarterback, when he was the 2nd, he didn't use him as a tight end running back, just Swiss Army knife anymore. Because you can't use Taysom Hill like that if he's your backup quarterback. Because what happens if Andy Dalton goes down and Taysom Hill gets hurt on a special teams play or something like that? So they're going to put him.
I throw Conk in there.
Conklin's been stuck, but we don't know how Zach Wilson throws the tight end. So
Probably overhand.
yeah, well I don't know. Zach Wilson's a lot of that gunslinger,
Patrick
sidearm,
Mahomes can do a
three-quarter
lot
stuff.
of different stuff, so they don't.
Whoop! All right, so you take in.
He could have had George Kittle if he'd have looked at that trade.
Give Michael
That's all
Dalton
I'm saying.
Schultz for 9. He is expected to play. Yeah, I'll take Dalton Schultz over Taysom Hill.
Right.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't over Conk.
I'll still take Dalton
I would
Schultz.
take Conk over
Okay.
Schultz.
Yeah.
Take Conk over Schultz?
But if it's where it stands now, I take Schultz.
Okay.
I would think about putting in David Njoku against Atlanta too.
Yeah, I
Oh, he
would
does have
He picked him up this morning.
That's
I
right.
think.
And I still like, I still like
Because
Schultz.
Schultz is still questionable with the knee, right? So I mean, that's
Yeah.
one bad play. If it feels like it doesn't feel right, he goes right back out, and you
Got a point.
That's
This
holding the
man's
bag.
quick. This man's quick. All right, to the flex.
and slow at the same time.
We have Rashad Penny for
Detroit City.
Mr. Andrew Ransdale.
Yep.
And who is
Michael
Michael
has
going to put?
Julio maybe, Njoku, McKenzie.
I think he goes McKenzie.
Well, if he goes with any of them, give him
7
points.
I like Rashad Penny either
Yeah.
way.
I'll probably take Penny.
I think Penny actually looks pretty good. I just wish he got the ball more.
More. That's the only issue.
For me, I would.
DJ Dallas. Why is DJ Dallas in there? At all.
Because it's not fantasy playoff time. That's
I
why.
guess.
It should be an equal
Pete
split
Carroll,
or a
fuck you, Pete
60-40 split between Penny and Walker. Because Penny,
I'd still go Penny more than that. Penny looks good.
I'm saying but that should be the split. DJ Dallas and Travis Homer don't give you anything.
Nah.
Like the other two have the explosive ability to. I mean, one of them's your current and one of them's your future. So just split it between them. Those Homer and Dallas are just they're not. They're just gaps. Just filler players. It's
I
like
agree
that
with
ingredient when you're making something like it doesn't really give you any taste, but it just needs to be there.
Like cinnamon.
Yeah, well, those give you
Cinnamon
a lot of
actually has a lot of taste.
taste. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. We're all bakers here, right?
I'm not, but we do have Baker as a quarterback for our team.
I got an air bear.
All right, to defense. You got the Dallas defense for Smith-Schuster and the Jujus.
Which we kind of talked about earlier with Trevon Diggs and
We
your
did.
bold prediction of Terry McLaurin.
And Indianapolis, so give Michael 12.
Okay.
All right, so we need 2 things from you, Jake.
All right.
Who you like between those 2 defenses, and what is Michael's total? You're the ad man. That's what we call you, ad man Jake.
We do admin. You do adman.
I'm
Boom.
probably going to take Indy.
ESPN does adman. Burke.
Indy in that
Until
matchup.
You taking Indy in that against Tennessee? Okay. I like Dallas this week because Carson Wentz is the quarterback, so he's going to throw 3 picks. One of them's going to be a pick 6. Bold prediction.
Whoa, good God.
Hold on a sec. That's not really bold as far as the picks. What'd you say though?
Carson
Number-wise?
Wentz throws 3 picks. 1 pick 6. But I still like Terry McLaurin for some decent yardage and a touchdown. I like that. So I'm going to take Dallas,
I think Dallas
obviously.
defense is not great, but
They're pressuring the quarterback.
that's what I was going to say. Their defensive pass rush with DeMarcus Lawrence on one side and Micah Parsons just.
Right.
Micah Parsons might already be the best defensive player
In the
in the
league?
league. He's getting that way. I still say Aaron Donald might be the best player in football, but Micah Parsons
Now I'm confused.
is all over the place.
How could Aaron Donald be the best player in football, but not the best player on defense?
I said he might be. So
Mm.
Micah Parsons might be like second or third.
105?
I wish it was 305.
All right. So our projection versus, or with Smith-Schuster and Juju's versus 50 Shades of Trey.
That's better.
With 112 to 105.
Yep. That's what we got.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
All right. Me and Bryan are going to go first on picks here.
Okay. Go ahead.
Bryan and me are copying each other except for where he douchebagged me and didn't pick against himself. He picked himself.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
played him. He
played
He
himself.
took Ange. I took Ange.
Okay. Both taking Mr. Rance Diddy Ball.
All right, Bryan for Andrew.
Drew for Andrew. Michael is taking Ranch Diddy.
All right.
Oh,
So me and you, Ryan.
what are y'all doing?
I'm not breaking a trend. I'm taking Andrew. I always take Andrew.
Contract.
Yeah, I gotta
He's
take
contract.
Andrew
I
as
breached that
well.
contract last year.
I gotta take. I took every one of his players except for Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
So I gotta go with Andrew as well. All right, so clean sweep it for Andrew.
Yep.
Might get his first win of the season if our predictions are correct. Actually, if they are correct, he
I might
will
be
be
the only winless team after this week. There's my bold prediction.
We all had a clean sweep except for Bryan's Scorp matchup was split. Everybody else was a clean sweep.
Is this the bad matchup week? That's what Jordan says.
Now,
That is what Jordan said.
when we said it was a bad matchup week last week, that was based solely on Yahoo's projections.
They were
And
lopsided.
he was matched up against Michael, who doesn't have a projection because he doesn't set his lineup. So
That's
that
right.
was
He's got
tough.
a point. He's got a point.
So get off our backs, Jordan.
Here,
We're doing our
Jordan.
best.
All right, any closing thoughts for week 4, Mr. Ruth?
I don't really like fantasy much anymore.
Dude, when fantasy's going well,
Live in
Love it.
reality.
you love. Oh
you save
man,
it for this moment.
dude, I'm talking about just life is better.
Yeah.
But when your team sucks, or when
And
it's
you
not
base your life
performing,
around your fantasy football team. Really
dude,
sucks.
Thanks for
Sundays
just
are dreadful.
Thanks for just painting a picture of my life right now, JT.
I've been there, man. I've been.
But you're
there.
not there now.
No, I forgot how much fun
You
fantasy
turned the
is.
corner, dude.
I forgot how much fun it is.
Since we've started doing this podcast, you've really hated fantasy football for a lot of it, and you've been a soldier.
Yeah, I just
You've
soldiered
kept
through,
pressing
man.
through.
Just keep-
I'm still
keep
here,
coming
guys. Still here.
Jake, you're still here?
Replace
Replace him?
No, we might have to find another place if he keeps getting sad. This might become like a little sad party place.
Well, if Brian was here, you could talk to Brian because
He'll
Bro,
listen.
He
listen.
left because he didn't want
he
to talk
did.
to
He
me.
didn't want to talk to
He
me.
knew you wanted to talk, and if you talk to him, he'll listen. But if he ain't here, you can't talk to him.
Right.
Cell phones don't exist.
Are you going to be 4-0 in first place after this week?
Boy, let's see what the standings are.
I
I'm
can
gonna
tell
say
you because
yeah.
everyone that's played me is 1 through 3. You're first, Jordan second, and JT's third.
But what I was thinking, I was like,
Breakdown
there's a
of my
possibility that I can win and get past in points, but I don't know.
There, I mean, it's possible,
I
yeah.
think they'd have to outscore you
I
by
was
like
about to say,
20 points.
I don't know what the gap is.
Jordan would have to beat you by, then you would drop.
No,
But that's
you
not-
would. You're the closest.
In points?
All right, no,
Because
Jordan
if he
is.
said if he
Jordan's the
won,
closest
he
point.
I know,
was
yeah.
first, so
I'm
he couldn't win. and
34
Jordan passed him.
points ahead of JT and
Yeah.
104 points ahead of Scorp.
I don't think I'm going to put up 44 more than
So,
you. So
yes, I think
yeah.
yes.
I think you're still first place. I think you're still leading in points. I think you got a good team going forward, but you just sabotaged it by getting rid of 2 players.
Yeah, way to go. Ding dong.
I'm just
Well, I've only played
kind
I've only played Kittle once,
because he's been hurt.
and I've played Patterson once, and he did great one game and terrible the other. So
Look,
I
this
mean, you
might be
can't play
the.
him once if he did great one and bad the other.
I didn't play him week 1 when he did great.
Thank you,
I played him
Mr.
week.
Inconsistent.
I played him week 2 and he was terrible, and then
So
I
you
played him week.
more. So you played him 2/3 of the weeks.
That's what I'm saying. I only played those 2 players. I
You
could've
said
had
you only
those-
played him once.
I only played Kittle once, and I only
Didn't you
played
say
Patterson.
Patterson
once.
I said I only
We
played
haven't
Kittle.
recorded.
We'll listen to it, but I said I only played Kittle once, and I only played Patterson once when he did good, once when he did bad. So that's 2 times, but 1 of good, 1 of bad. So out of 6 possible outcomes of those 2
Right.
players, they only got
I
2
played
good
my
weeks.
entire team every week, and they all suck. So
How
I
many
don't
good weeks? All right, trade wise, how many good weeks did that give you? None because you didn't play. But that was the only trade you made. So that's the only analysis we got it. That's all the analysis I gave. It was 2 players I
He
traded.
did play 1 week.
Not in your roster though. You didn't start him, did you?
No, I traded him on draft night.
That's what I'm saying. So you didn't have any analysis on how many good weeks and how many bad weeks.
All right,
he gave
boys,
you.
we're
You
getting
traded
caught up in
before
the
he gave
details now. We're really getting
It's
bogged
too
down in the
late.
details.
you. We're in the weeds.
We're in something. All right, well,
Whatever you're into, Ryan, just do it at home.
good luck, ladies and gentlemen,
No.
and we will see you.
How many ladies we got in our league?
Uh,
Besides Jordan. Just kidding. This is a bad matchup week.
all right, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next week.
Bye.